What's going on, everybody? It is your humble live stream host, Tim, back with another live stream. It has been a minute. Let me get things situated here, get it how I like it. It has been. See, there was the forehead, the brain, the shimmering forehead light. It has been a while since I was able to get on here and live stream. Definitely been a minute since I did a in the house stream. I think the last couple I did, maybe I was in the car or last. Anyway, it's been a minute. We're back. Uh, what up, Carla? I gotta slide this thing closer. I can't see. Easton, how's it going? How's it going? D Jackson, D Skizzle. Hey, Malcolm, how you doing? How you doing? Chris, what up? Angela, good to see you. World's best moderator. How you doing? Good to see you. What up, Regina? Miss L Nomad. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Cannot complain. Cannot complain. Lene checking in early. How you doing, Lene? Good to see you. Good to see you. Bobby, what up? What up? What up? Late bloomer. I'm good. I'm good. Hope you are too. Carl, retired 2019. How you doing? The Heart We Care. Checking in. Yeah. Carl, all is well. Can't complain. Been working a lot. Actually got off a stint working 9 days straight. So this was my first day off since last Wednesday. So your boy a little tired, but that doesn't stop me from getting on here and hanging out with y'all for a little bit. Can't stop the stream. Actually, I kind of need, even though I said I was just going to rest all day long, and I was lazy most of the day. This is kind of a recharge for me, so I kind of needed this. So yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Can't complain. Winter, how you doing? Yeah, Bobby, piggybacking off that, my week was, it was long, but it wasn't bad. You know, I think like 6 days into it, like the sixth day got a little rough because my body, your body's used to working 5 days and you have a day off. So the sixth day was kind of rough. And I had trouble sleeping a couple nights. So the days, after those nights were rough, but days like 7, 8, 9 went pretty, I think I caught my second wind. But, yeah. It was a week, good week, good week. Hey, blesses you too, Winter. Thank you. Thank you. You're taking the Greyhound from Los Angeles to Mexico City? Okay. Hey, just go for it. Just go for it. I've been to the. I think I've been to the L.A. Yeah, I've been to. I think the train and the bus station is all together, right, in L.A. Yeah, man. It's that'll be a fun trip. Regina out here working hard. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Chris, I'm still in Montana. Been here for a minute. Still here. Here until something pops up on the radar that I'd rather do or where I'd rather be, So kind of enjoying being in one place. There's some things. That's the beauty of life. When I'm traveling, there's things I get to experience that I don't get to experience if I'm stationary for a while. And if I'm stationary for a while, there's things I get to experience that I don't get to experience when I'm traveling. So I'm appreciating experiencing the things I get to experience when I'm stationary. Um, and when I'm over that, we'll probably hit the road again. Million mixes. Hello. Quad. I work in a hotel, so I am a housekeeping supervisor in a hotel. So yeah, car life is good. Car life is good. I don't drive much. I drive to like work back home to the library. Actually, I walked to the library when I went. Um, I drive to the grocery store and back. So yeah, I don't drive much. A couple times I just kind of drove around. Today I went and got my coffee, then I just drove around for a little bit, but I haven't really drove that much. But yeah, I'm enjoying car life. We about a month or so ahead on our car payment. No, I just keep paying it in advance. Oh, a friend of mine taught me years ago, pay your bills in advance. That way, if you ever have a bad month, you're already up. So, like the power bill came the other day, it was negative $30. It said, "Do not send any money." Not a you. So I've been trying to do that with the car note as well. So Nick, what up? What up? What up? How you doing? How you doing? Hey, Chris, thank you. Super Chat Squad coming in early. Thank you, Chris, the gym. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love, the support, that donation to the Freedom Fund. Thank you so much, Chris. Let's go. And I like the little animation too. Thumbs up. Let's go. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Do you see wild horses in Montana? I do not. I'm kind of in the city area. This summer I did see wild moose though. That was crazy. Literally right outside. I was like this summer I could walk to work. It was like a 5 minute walk to work because the townhome I was living in was kind of in the same town center as the hotel I was working at. So like you could see where I worked at from my housing. And I was walking to go get a coffee at the little grocery store. Then I was going to walk to work. It's all in the same area. Um, and yeah, there was like four moose out there. That was kind of nerve wracking. Like if I'm in the woods, like I've been in the woods and seen moose. It's kind of like it's still kind of, but like when you're in like a residential area and there's a moose eating out of your neighbor's trees, that kind of throws you. And then you round the corner, it's like two more. It's just kind of like, what is my in the neighborhood moose protocol? That's what I'm like, bro. It's like 8 in the morning. I'm still half sleep, bro. I don't know what to do with these moose. I just kept walking. Um, I saw wild horses at the Grand Canyon. Oddly enough, they were up near the exit. Like I was going out to get something to eat. So when I worked at the Grand Canyon, like you live in the national park. So I was, to go, you got to go in and out the exit and entrance to get in and get out, which busy times can be an issue. But it was like 6 in the evening, a few cars leaving. I'm heading out, and then I just seen a pack of wild horses run across the street. I'm like, what? Like I've always seen these animals when I'm not expecting them. You know what I mean? When I'm expecting something, I'm like, oh, okay. But like I'm just leaving the Grand Canyon National Park just to go get some victuals, get a little food to put in my stomach after a long day of cleaning hotel rooms. And I look up and there's just a pack of wild horses running across the street. I'm like, what? Like, there's no way there to be like, am I really seeing this? Like, I'm like, they got wild horse. Anyway, I don't know. So I've never seen them in Montana, but I have seen them in Arizona. M2, how you doing? Angela, I have watched all the videos on YouTube. So I haven't listened to the whole album, but every song Drake has uploaded a video for, I watched on YouTube. We're back. We're back. We're back. That's all. I don't even want to get into it too much right now. I've been waiting so long for this, so I'm sure I picked out a few songs I really liked, and I'm sure those will make my playlist. There's a few I was like, but like I haven't deep dove. But yeah, yesterday I just kind of went through and watched the videos, and we're back. We're back. WNBA season's back. Iceman drop. Come on, man. Life is good. It's summertime. Even though it snowed, it literally like not a bad snow. And we've been having temperatures in the 70s for 2-3 weeks, and it literally snowed today. I was like, my day off. It's been beautiful. The 9 days straight I worked, it's been so beautiful. I was taking it was so beautiful. I was doing anything to get outside. I was taking trash bags out one at a time. I was taking cardboard to the cardboard, recycle bin, one piece of cardboard, one box at a time, just so I could go outside. Normally, you wait to get a bunch of trash bags, go to the dumpster, you get a bunch of cardboard, go to the recycle thing. Every time I got one box, I was walking outside. It was so beautiful. My day off, it rains and snows. It's okay though. It's okay though. Other than that, the weather's been great. The W's back. Caitlin Clark is healthy for the most part. Drake dropped. I got no complaints. I got no complaints. Y'all here? I got no complaints. I'm behind these comments. Okay, let me get caught up. Did I say what's up to you, Nick? Yes, I did. Good to see you, Nick. Good to see you. I appreciate you saying that, M2. Yeah, and honestly, I think there's so much lies, so much propaganda, so much scummy truth out there. People like say they're telling the truth, but they're not. I think life does get better when we tell the actual truth. Nick, you checking it from Yellowstone? Nice. That's right. Nice. Josh says guacamole and other cheap foods can help you save crazy money by beef in bulk. Just regular guacamoles. Okay. All right. Hey, I appreciate that tip. China in the bill. What up, David? Checking in from China. Okay. Nice. How you doing, Al? Kia, hello, greetings. Quad, I go through a website called coolworks.com. That's how I got most of my jobs. in these pretty cool places, coolworks.com. The job I got now, I did not get through Coolworks. A friend of mine got hired on and got me the job. But pretty much all the seasonal jobs I've worked, most of the jobs I've worked the last 10 years, I got through coolworks.com. Yeah. Yeah, moose are huge. People don't realize how big, like moose are huge. I'm talking like I'm 6'4", and I promise you a moose would be close to looking me eye to eye, probably. Like moose are, yeah, moose are big. Yeah. And they're just kind of, I don't know, like they're very intimidating because they, yeah. And it's just a weird kind of big too. It's just an antlers or moose are, yeah. Yeah, Nick, we're not too far from each other. Giselle, what up? What up? Good to see you. Yeah, I saw a Coke warehouse in Mexico. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you talking about? Oh, soda. Okay, okay. So, okay, okay. I thought we straight off topic here. Divine, I appreciate the positive vibes, sending them right back to you. The positive vibes, positive energy, sending it right back to you. Thank you. Pirate King, glad you joined the videos. You don't want to rain on my champagne poppy happiness. So you can't. You can't. We're back. We're back. We're back. Player, oh, you've been following. That's been a minute. That's been some years. The can't get sober is too boring. That's probably maybe going on 5 years now. Maybe. You know what's crazy about that video? There was no plans to make sobriety videos. Um, it just popped in my head to make that video one day, and that video did so well. For a while, it was my best video views wise. Um, that I started doing more sobriety content based on how well that video did, and I'm so glad that happened because so many people have just said that like they appreciated those videos, and I appreciate making them. It was very therapeutic for me to make those videos, especially as I dove deeper and started talking about all the crazy stuff I did drinking and just got it all out there. A lot of the stuff you hold on to and people never really talk about because we're embarrassed. Uh, Realizing that getting it out there, working through the embarrassment, well, getting it out there can help you work through the embarrassment and it helps other people, to let them know you're not alone. You're not the only one who does all this crazy stuff. Um, that was very therapeutic for me. So I'm so glad the idea to make that video, found me, and I did it because it's led to so much positive stuff from just that one video was the start. Jamaica in the building. What up, Max? Where am I in the show? He hasn't been watching the Greyhound bus tips video. That is crazy because that's a totally different channel. So that is funny to me that like I think I might have put a couple of those on this channel, and that helped with the cross channel integration. But so many people are like, I found you from the Greyhound bus video. I'm like, that's a different channel. But yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Appreciate you sticking around. Slim tonight, where you been? I've been here. I take breaks every now and then, but I've been around. Glad you came back through. Indiana in the building. What up? Hart, you work at a courthouse? Oh, cool, cool. Did I see them in real life? What, moose? Yeah. Yeah. Real life. Real life. Close. Like the ones I saw this summer were like, I've seen some before, like in the wild. They were a bit away or they were close, but you know what I mean? There was one I walked up on the woods that was close, but like we were in the woods. So like there was a bunch of trees between us and I thought it was an elk. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a picture of this elk. And then like, I'm like, wait a second, that elk is big. I'm like, that's a moose. But like he couldn't have charged me. There were so many trees in the way, but we were still closer than I felt comfortable being. So I just backed up. I didn't get no footage of that. I said, nope, nope. He couldn't charge me because he could have snaked his way through them trees. You know what I mean? But the ones I saw this summer, yeah, they were like, I was walking in the middle of the street and they were just like in the neighbor's yard, like right there, eating out of the trees. Like one was eating out of the tree, one was like on the ground. Around at the corner, there was two more walking. Yeah, like real life. Like, I'm like, okay, these Montana streets. Hey, Divine, that's awesome. That's awesome. I like to hear that, and I'm sure the people at Coolworks like to hear that too. You said you put me on the Coolworks, changed my life for real. Same with me. That's why I love paying it forward because And that's why when I get a chance to hype up Cool Works, I do, to recommend that I do. Really good people there. They actually reached out to me the other day. So really good people there. And yeah, it's a website that I think it was started and stands for, getting people in touch with some cool jobs, and like, showing people a different way of life and a different way to make money. And thus far, I've never seen, any scumminess, or, they're not charging for you to use the service. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like a decent website, but like can really change your life. Give me 1 second, folks. This is literally like the last time I'm gonna use Uber Eats. Since I got a car, I have not been using Uber Eats. But like I said, it was snowing outside, and I was like, man, I want a beverage. I want a Java-based beverage for this live stream. So I was like, one last time for old time's sake, you know, I'm gonna have me a coffee. Anyway, where we at? Where we at? Mike, it's been months. Hey, let's go. Let's talk. We here. A group of moose is a meese. Where we at? Oh, dude. Kia, Coolworks is just the listing website, so they don't do rides or flights or anything. They're like Indeed for seasonal jobs. When you apply for a job on Indeed, like Indeed just lists the jobs. Everything else is you in the company. So the same is true with Coolworks. They just list the jobs. Everything else is you in the company. Now, if you're asking if most seasonal jobs or short-term travel jobs provide you rides, no, most of them don't. There are some that will provide, if you work the whole season, your ride back, your flight back. Most of those are in Alaska. Typically, if there's any type of like pay for your ride, pay for your flight, it's Alaska, because they have, and it's usually like the seafood processing places, a couple other places. But that's the state I've seen the most where they're like, hey, if you stay all season, we'll pay for your flight home, anywhere in the lower 48, because they have a harder time, I think, getting people than any other state. And there's a ton of summer jobs, especially in Alaska. So, but most of them don't. Top 5 current rappers. Bobby, I don't really rank. I can say who I've listened to recently. Obviously Drake. I had a day or two there where I was really, like a day, I was heavy into OT the Real. I like to catch up on him. I'll go a few months without listening to him, and then I'll catch up. Remy Ma, that little, freestyle she did, had me buzzing for a while. Know how your man network. Who else have I listened to lately? I've been a little Jadakiss bag recently, some older stuff. Who else? I'm trying to see who else I've been listening to. That's 4. Okay. Thank you, Nick. Glad you like that video. It's true. Everything feels like a scam these days, man. As soon as I get tired of it, just gotta talk about it. And the engagement on that video has been great. The engagement has been very good on that video. So that's how you're talking about something that everybody wants to talk about. Everybody's feeling when the comments are doing very well in that video. Quad, yes. I know lots of couples that came to seasonal jobs together. The OGs in the chat know what I'm about to say. I know lots of couples that came to seasonal jobs together. I also know quite a few that didn't leave together. So my advice is, if you're going to bring your girl around there, make sure you got a strong relationship. If you're going to bring your man around there, make sure you got a strong relationship, because you're going to be working, living, eating together with the same people. And as many nice, cool, awesome people that I've met in seasonal work, there's some wolves out there. There's some she-wolves out there. And you come around there with your good man, they is going to come for him. They're going to come for him. A couple different ways if he lets them. Anyway, you come around there with your beautiful princess, them dudes is going to be on her. So I just it's just like any other situation where there's a lot of people in a very tight-knit community area. and everybody rubbing shoulders with everybody 24/7. You come through there. I've seen it. I've seen them. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just being honest. I've seen the dudes crying in the in the morning. It's not funny, but I've seen dudes crying in the morning meeting. What happened? She left me for Derek. Oh, she walked in the room with Derek. Ah. But yeah, you can go as a couple. And I know lots of couples who go together and they stay together and there's no issues. I just like to say the other part first because it's funnier. You know, if I'm just like, yeah, you can go with your mate, it'll be fine. That's boring. That's Sleepsville. But the first thing they told me, one of the first things, this is no lie, one of the first things they told me at Big Sky, you don't lose your girl, you lose your turn. Don't be falling, catching feelings out here. That was, about 10 years ago. Anyway, yeah, some places like to go as a couple. And some of the smaller places, for example, like some of like the RV or campgrounds, they'll be looking for just a couple. They only need two people, So yeah, a lot of places allow you to come with your mate. Bushcraft Bandit, what up? Thank you, Angela. Thank you. That's going to be that sobriety series is the first of a series. That sobriety video, excuse me, is the first in a series. So I'm going to be doing like a 10-part sobriety series. So yeah. Hey, Wizard, that is awesome. Son graduated college with high honors. Nice. He graduated magna cum laude, top 5% of his class. Let's go. Out here raising geniuses. Okay, congratulations to Wizard and your son. That is awesome. That is awesome. Nice. Let's go. See, graduating, top of the class, magna cum laude. Is that Latin? Okay. But that is awesome, Wizard. And thanks for sharing. Thank you. Jeff, good day. What up? 4113. First time catching live. How you doing? Good to see you. Agent checking in. Oh, got a new job, part-time grocery store. Cool. See, hopefully that'll be low stress, chill job. No, we're not doing that. Snipe game out early. We're at the. Oh, I was way behind in the chat. Let me get caught up. No one to train at work anymore? What do you mean, M2? Tim Hawk. The kids know. The kids know. They all call me different names. Some call me Tim Hawk. Some call me Big Unk. I don't know. The kids know. The face know. The kids know. Shout out to Lene's kids. 5-year-old. 9:30. You supposed to be bed at 9:30? Let the young ones enjoy the weekend. I'm messing with you. It's Saturday. They can't stay up till midnight. Come on, man. Come on. No, you're right. If I had kids, it'd be 8:30 every night. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in bed. You ain't got to go to sleep, but you got to go to bed. Okay. What up? Stoic Warrior, Canada in the building. Lion, hello. Teacher Jasmine B checking in. The positivity is here. I go by many names. What's up, Absurdist? Yeah. Lene came to the job with her man, left with her man. But I'm sure some of them scallywags up there was trying. I say scallywags in the most loving manner. I'm sure some of them skanks. I'm joking. Don't cancel me, ladies. I would use the same colorful language about dudes who was going after somebody's woman. But I'm sure some of them was going after you, man, but you held on to it. Good man. That could be she was like Thriller. That could be, but you have to make it in order for it to be a bar, it has a rhyme, right? There was see the wolves was trying to. Lene said there was wolves trying to test her waters. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know that. I'm sure of that. They be out there, bro. Hey, Pirate King. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's there was a comment from someone the other day. I meant to comment back about. They had asked about like making. It's actually a comment I get a lot. About just like making videos and getting comfortable on camera and things like that. Um, and yeah, I think it just comes down to doing it because like before until you do it, you have like you said, you have all these ideas about like how people will perceive it and what will happen. But then when you actually start making videos and posting them in the manner in which you want to do it, you see the actual response. It's usually nowhere near as bad as you thought it could be. You know, and even like I said, you get a few negative comments here or there, and like okay, over you learn to deal with them. Like they're not always fun, but like the love always outweighs the hate from what I've seen. Even sometimes when the hate is very loud, there's still more love. So yeah, I always tell people just start posting the way you want to. Especially these days, there's no. You will notice. Remember when there used to be like hundreds of these like YouTube tip gurus, right? And there was so many people telling you how to do it on YouTube. You've noticed they've all got quiet. Think about it. There used to be so many of those type people in your feed. They're all quiet now because nobody knows what to do now. There's no set method. So it's just like do what you want to do. Slap up whatever video, short, stream you want to slap up, see what happens. Throw it against the wall, see what sticks. Like nobody knows anyway, you know. I'm in your top 5 on MySpace, Rock. Hey, nice, nice. I wish I could get into my MySpace. See who's in my top 5 from 2003. Yeah, it really sucked if Derek took your girl and was your roommate. I mean, I've heard stories that were close. I've heard stories of people who inadvertently did that. Like maybe like there was somebody talking with somebody, um, and they weren't. And maybe it's like a little situationship, and then maybe one person wanted it to be more, and the other person was just trying to have fun, and then you know the roommate ended up unknowingly maybe hooking up with her next, and then there was a issue in the room because dude's like, "Hey man, that's me," and dude's like, "I didn't know. You never said who it was. You just said you was hanging out with so and so. I didn't know it was the same." Then it get weird, and so I've heard like that type of situation. You know, Nick, I think it was $10 a day when I was in Yellowstone. Um, I forget. It's been 10 years, so I forget the name of the dorm I was in. But it was over there. Yeah, it was right across. I'm sure it's the same area. Um, I'm sure it's the same area. It's over there where the employee pub is. That row of like 3 dorms, or it might be more now. But yeah, it's probably that same area. But I forget the name of the dorm. But I think it was like $10 a day back then. Which 450 ain't bad still. JL, I will agree that fake friends, can be rotten fruit. You know, and I think it is hard until they do something to show you they're fake friends to know they're fake friends. But like, I don't think real friends, are rotten fruit. But fake friends, yes, I agree. KT, K Tal, what up? I'm good. I'm good. Denver in the bill. What up, Justin? I'm feeling it. Put them kids to bed 8:30. Do you? I left. Like I wasn't in Thailand long term. I was only there for like a month, and I think I left after 3 weeks, maybe. Um, it was really nothing. Like I said, I only planned the longest I was going to be there a month anyway. And after like 3 weeks, I was chilling. Like my big thing with Thailand, and maybe it was just the places I went. It's just it was very very hot the last time I went. Like it was hot hot. So all I mainly did was stay indoors. So I wasn't really doing anything, and part of that's on me. But like that's just the type of person I am. Um, I have a bit of social anxiety. It's already hard for me to like do certain things around groups of people. So there just wasn't a lot of, I wasn't doing a lot. And, I'd done the things I wanted to do. I rode the bus, you know what I mean? A couple of things I said I wanted to do this time around. And so I was good. But I wasn't there to stay anyway. I was only going to be there a month max anyway. Alvin Anthony, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad coming through heavy. Thank you, Alvin Anthony. Say said recently went through interview through Zoom. I was nervous going through Zoom. However, I got the job working at the City Hall security officer. Nice, nice. Congratulations. Let me give you a like on that. I appreciate the love. Super Chat Squad supporting the Freedom Fund. Thank you so much. And that sounds awesome. Security officer down there at the City Hall. Sounds like a government job. Okay, okay. Yeah, Zoom interviews. I kind of like Zoom interviews because I can be at home or in the car and be a little more comfortable. The regular interview, you got to go to the place, you're on their turf. You know what I mean? You're in their world. And it's the first time being there. It can be a little, I love interviews, but that is one part that sometimes it can be a little, but Zoom, I'm just at the house. I just throw a nice shirt on. I still got my PJ shorts on. Just throw a nice shirt on and sit in front of a blank wall, and I'm good. I'm good. But congratulations on getting the job. That is awesome. That is awesome. That's awesome. And I appreciate the love. Thank you. Thank you. Tremendous support. Thank you. Let us know how the job goes. Lars starting a new job on Monday. Nice. Pirate King said, if you have a mouth injury but can still speak clearly, is YouTube videos still possible? Sure. As long as people can understand the message, you're good. You're good. Agent finna be an uncle? Okay. Gonna have a niece? Nice. What up, Mark? Holistic. Good to see you. Ty Holmes gonna remain single forever. Yeah, I'm gonna screenshot this and time and date stamp it. And you got to be honest with us. When you get in a relationship, you got to come back and be like, I said I was, because the universe has a sense of humor. I'm telling you, the universe has a sense of humor, and I promise you, you're gonna poke its button by keep saying I'm gonna stay single forever, and it's going to throw the absolute. I know I said I was gonna stay single forever, but I got to date this person because damn, they're gonna throw that. I'm telling you, the universe has a sense of humor. Right now has no plans. It does not care what you do. Single, married, whatever, I don't care. About the 1800th, I'm gonna stay single forever. The universe is gonna be like, I got something for that. Hold my coffee. Okay. This is the way the universe works. That's why we gotta be careful what we put out there. Now, you might stick to your guns and be like, guess what, universe? My resolve is better than your little jokey joke putting a supermodel in front of me. I'm still gonna say single. In which case, universe, touche. But I'm telling you. Let me know when it happens. Don't know much. I know stuff like that. Okay. Nikki posted 40 videos. Let's go. Hey, glad I could give you the motivation. That's awesome. YouTube comment, we're just talking, Oh, yeah. I think I was in Bitterroot, Nick. I think I was in Bitterroot. Yeah, I think I was in Bitterroot. That's crazy that it's only gone up $5 a day in 10 years. That's what I'm saying. People be trashing Xanterra, but they do decent on some stuff, $4.50 a month ain't bad. And that includes meals, folks. $450 a month rent. Now you have a roommate, I'm assuming. $450 a month and 3 meals a day. Some people pay $450 a month to eat all. You know what I mean? Some people, how much you like $450 a month for room and board, 3 meals a day, prepared for you, and a place to stay in Yellowstone National Park. I've been there. I stayed there. Walking distance to Old Faithful in the Geyser Basin, which is one of the most visited places on the planet. People fly in, busing all over the world. I've been there. I've seen it. It's on the U.S. the Chinese U.S. tours. It's definitely on there because Yellowstone was one of the few places I've ever seen where on certain days Americans were the minority and there was more. It would be buses and buses of buses of our beautiful brothers and sisters from China. I'm talking buses deep. Americans was pulling up to take their kids to see Old Faithful and getting shook. They know where they was at. They're like, where are these Chinese people come from? I'm like, yeah, welcome to Minority'sville. No, but yeah, right. Walking distance to Old Faithful, one of the treasures of the world. $450 a month, place to stay, food, work. You getting a paycheck too. It'd be worth it even if you weren't working. If they was like, hey, you could stay, you can stay in Yellowstone National Park for $500 a month. You pay that just to be there, but you're also working, so you're making money too. Y'all got to check out Cool Works, man. I'm telling you, changed my life. I was not expecting, like, when I found out about seasonal work, I didn't know a lot. Y'all know me. I don't do a lot of research. I just do stuff. I appreciate the likes, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We're at 78, a few away from 100. Thank you. 100 is an arbitrary goal I pick every stream. Just anyway, but I appreciate y'all hitting the like button and the emojis on the side. Thank you. The reactions on the side. Thank you. But I didn't know what I was getting into. I just, found out about Cool Works, applied for, I was like, well, I'll go to the national. I didn't even look at a bunch of the other jobs. I just did national parks. I applied for like 5 national parks. All of them emailed me back. I think one took a little longer than all, like 4 hit me like one time, bam. And I think eventually the other one did too. But I think I definitely did like 4 interviews, ended up going with Yellowstone because I'd heard of it. I think they all wanted to hire me. I got offers from most of them, I think. Ended up going with Yellowstone. But like, I didn't know. I just know they said meet them in Belgrade, Montana, and they pick you up on a bus, take you there. I didn't do too much more research. You know what I mean? All the paperwork they sent, I read. Okay, I need to be here. They're going to take care of this. But like, I didn't know nothing about Yellowstone and all this other stuff. Like, it blew my mind. Being in Yellowstone National Park, the housing right there, you know what I mean? Like the meals. I'm like, oh, so I just go in this building 3 times a day and can just eat for free? And they're like, yeah, it's included with your room and board. I'd never been served free meals before, you know what I mean? It was life-changing. And I think that's why that got me started in the seasonal work lifestyle. And like, even though I'm currently not living it, I've done it so much, and I'm sure I'll go back to it one day, just because, once you get used to kind of that living in pretty cool places for a cheaper rent, a lot of times getting, food discounted or free, like, this sitting around paying rent, having to buy your own food, it gets old after about a year or two. When you can go back and like have all these perks and be in some cool places with also, some fun people, like, this regular, man, I'm gonna go back to Yellowstone or Estes Park. Any tips about making friends after 35? I've been trying sports and things, but never get traction. Seems people are not willing to put in the effort nowadays, even when I try. Introvert also. Fab, I'm gonna be honest with you. I met most of the friends I have now through like seasonal jobs, through work. I have no clue, how to make friends outside of that. I wish I did. I could use a couple more just like regular friends, It'd be cool to have a squad, a couple dudes I'd kick it with, but I don't know. And uh, I don't like to put it on people. I don't like to say like, a lot of people say, oh, everybody's too preoccupied with their phones, or even with, and not downing you, but like, they don't want to put in the effort. I have to realize that if that's true, I'm part of the problem too. Then, you know what I mean? And I don't feel like I'm doing anything negative to stop friendships from happening. I just think I'm living what feels like the natural life to me, and I just don't come in contact with people I want to be friends with. I feel like that's what other people are doing too. So maybe it's just the state of the world. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to put it on like, oh, if other people would do their job, I could make friends. I just think it's just the way the world is now. It's just become harder to make those connections. So I don't know if I want to blame us. I think we all want friends, but it's just different these days. I think. Hold on, let me turn this heater off. I said it got a little chilly. I had to turn the heater on. Where we at? Where we at? I'm behind the chat again. Yeah, that would be nice, Wizard. If we could get the billionaires to start a contest over who could feed the most hungry and house the most homeless, plant the most trees. You know what's funny though? I'm sure there are some billionaires out there and millionaires out there who do that type of stuff, but I think the ones who do it aren't going to publicize it. And I think that's noble that they don't, but sometimes I wish they would so that we would know. Because there is this misconception, and this is not me standing up and defending millionaires and billionaires at all. But I do think there are some people who have made a lot of money and they give back a lot of that money to help. But someone who's going to do that isn't going to like tell you. They're not going to put it on social media. It's not going to be on the news. So we get this idea of like nobody with money helps. But I think there are some that do, you know? Yeah. Liam said I fell off of the channel, but I'm back to recharge. I ain't bad at that. I ain't bad at that. Ooh, Micah, your high school sweetheart messaged you after a decade? Okay, okay. Okay. That's how it happens, man. Life's a beautiful thing, man. Thank you, JL. Yumi, I'm in Montana still. Sorry to hear that, Jay Squiggle. Well, like I tell people, and I'm not at all saying Xanterra is the best company. I can only speak to my experience, but I got fired too. But it was kind of a situation where they tried everything not to fire me, but it was just one of those, according to the book, they had to fire me because someone lied on me and had witnesses who lied because they were her little minions, and none of my friends were there to. I couldn't find any of my friends to back up my side of the story, and they were like, "Hey, if you can," it was an incident at the pub. It wasn't nothing too crazy. She said I threw a beer bottle at her or something. And they're like, we know she's lying, but she came in here with two of her friends. We just need someone to say she's lying. And I couldn't find anybody. So they fired me. But they did everything they could to not fire me. It's like, we don't want to fire, but like, if this is on paper, this is all we got. So, I had no issues with Xanterra. I've known people who've worked for them for many seasons. But I've also known people at other locations who maybe had a similar experience to yours. So, um, I don't know. It's with any company of that size, especially it being seasonal. You know, as someone who's been a manager at a seasonal job, it's way different than managing in the real world. So yeah, there are some situations where I'll be honest, HR is just like, yeah, get him up out of here. You know what I mean? So depending on what the issue was. Alvin, I do direct deposit. I ain't done a paper check, and I don't know. Sometimes your first check will be paper, but yeah, I forget you can even still get a paper check. What am I doing with the paper? Like, I have to take it to the bank anyway. I'm just gonna deposit it on my phone anyway. Just as me personally. James, I haven't been doing much. I've been working a lot, so um, I probably won't do any car camping. Even I do plan on hopefully this summer, maybe taking some day trips on my day off. Maybe find some cities or whatever, 5 6 hours away, drive up there. 3 to 6 hours away, something like that. Drive up there, spend a night, come back, something like that. But I'll probably stay in hotels. I don't think I'll do car camping. Oh, you can be rehired after 1 calendar year. They changed that, Jay Squiggle, because they had me on the do not hire list for the longest. Yumi, it would be too much to really go into now. I do have a lot of videos on drinking that might be helpful. Um, it's something that it's too deep an issue to just say a sound bite right now. Um, because I know if you can't stop drinking, anything I say, any 3 second thing I say is not going to help. Um, but I do have a lot of videos about it. And even those might not help because it is such a quitting drinking is you fighting against you. And so the best anyone else can do is give you motivation in your battle against yourself, right? Because it's you fighting you. Um, and you can't tap nobody in. You can't sub nobody in. Um, and people can tell you how they did it, but I don't think anybody can really give you advice. You know what I mean? Like, I think the most people can give you is motivation, which is what I try to do with my videos. How do you get my cool energy? You gotta be born with the champ. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Oh, one more like. Angela, yeah, I hadn't had to run the heat in weeks, and today we had a little. Hopefully, this will be the last like little cold snap. I feel like in Arizona, y'all run the AC year round. Um, I'm just getting caught up in the chat. I don't think Alvin Anthony I'll ever make anywhere my permanent home. I don't know. I've gone back to writing my goals, trying to do it daily, um, and the one about home base is usually the first one I write. I mean, I would love to find that home base that I don't want to leave, but I haven't found that yet. So, um, as much as I love Montana, you know, I get longings for other places. Like it's been a minute since I've been in Colorado, so I'm starting to be like, man, I can't wait till. Yeah, I said it today. I was like, man, I can't wait till I'm back in the city. That's what I call Denver. I'm like, man, I can't wait till I'm back in the city, bro. So like, I know I'll be back in Colorado sometime soon. I'm sure. So, I just haven't found that place that I'm like, that's where I want to be my permanent home or whatever. Glad to hear that, Kyle. Yeah, and it's just interesting. Like anytime someone asks about like getting sober, there's always somebody, typically somebody who hasn't been through it, who comes through and gives their advice. And I never want to be that person. There's always somebody who comes through who's like, if you really want to quit, you'll quit. And I'm always like, shut up. Like respectfully. Like, you know what I mean? Someone always comes through who hasn't been through it and wants to make it seem like it's so easy when it's one of the hardest things like you'll ever do. Beating addiction is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And these little just sound bites people throw out there because they've heard someone else say it. It's probably one of the most annoying, and I try not to get annoyed. Probably one of the most annoying things. And so that's why I try to stay so far on the other side of like, I'm just giving out motivation. You know what I mean? Like I know you can quit. I know you'll figure out how to do it. I know it's gonna be hard. But I know it's more than just like if you really want to trip your willpower, like bro, you only drink twice in your life. Stop, bro. Like, or people will be like, I've never had a problem with alcohol. I can drink whatever I want, nothing bad happens. But let me tell you how to cook. That would be like me trying to give people advice on like how to, break free from the clutches of heroin. I've never done hard drugs in my life, but I know that if you want to stop, banging black tar heroin, you just need to buckle down. Stop, bro. Like, we can admit we don't know everything. Like, we don't have to just regurgitate stuff we've heard other people say and act like we're just like the wisest person, Or, I mean, you have the right to say whatever you want. But my whole point in this whole rant is to caution people: don't let people like that make you feel like you're doing something wrong. Because it's easy to read all these comments by people who don't know what they're talking about and be like, man, I should be able to quit if I just have the willpower or the other imaginary stuff people come up with. No, it's hard. It takes a while. Anyone who's real about it, it's hard. It takes a while. A lot of relapses. There was a time when pretty much all of us were like, I can't do it. But if you keep doing it, you can do it. I just don't want, and maybe these people mean well, I'm sure they do. But it's easy to get down on ourselves based on comments that people say. They don't even know what they're talking about. Okay. First rant of the evening. All right. Sorry. Here you go. Kansas in the building. Angela, I actually cooked some steak with my air fryer for lunch. Yeah. When my lease is up in my apartment next month and I'm going to Airbnb, so I'm debating whether I'm going to take my air fryer to the Airbnb. Yeah. I don't have any expat opinions. 2869. I just say go, enjoy yourself. Angela said it's either heat or AC in Arizona. Yeah, it's been cool here because like once here in Montana, like I know last summer I didn't have air conditioning. This apartment has like a window, like a wall unit, which I would never turn on because there's so much dust in it. I peeked in there the other day. I was like, never turn that on. But from like last summer, I never had AC. I just like had the windows open. So that is cool about Montana. Like summertime, spring, summer, you can get away most of the time with just windows. You don't need air conditioning. Oh, AJ, you're gonna say in Saskatoon? Okay. Maybe the Philippines. All right. Yeah, you see the iconic water jug. Have I considered polka dancing? Not. I think I'm good. Del Grady, I think I'm good. I'm not really a dancer. DTI, congratulations on the 3 weeks. Nice. Have not been to Maine yet, Al. We gonna go though. We're gonna go to Maine. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. It's on the like. If I say I'm doing it, I'm doing it. I do it when it's time to. It's time to. We're gonna go to Maine. Hey, Moda X, that's awesome. That's awesome. I don't remember the specific advice. But I'm glad it was helpful to you, and you made it to South America. Let's go. Let's go. Nice. Nathan, I think there are some people who do drugs and drink for that reason, but I personally know lots of people who like that wasn't the reason they did drugs. And here's the thing too, like I think society likes to set up one specific thing and say, oh, people do drugs because of this. People drink because of this, because then it puts the sole responsibility on like the person. And if it's something that like, oh, that person's doing something, so that person refuses to fix something, that's why they do drugs. We don't have to worry about them no more because it's just like, oh, if they would just fix that issue, they wouldn't have to do drugs. But it's deeper than that with so many people. Now, it is the person's fault that like they picked up the drug or they picked up the bottle. Yes. But there's so many other factors which drives people to like engage in their vices. And like so many people just said in the chat, we all have our vices. Some people's vices are not illegal. Some people's vices don't lead to as much bad behavior. Some people's vices are not as obvious. A lot of people do a lot of things that nobody ever knows, you know, and they all have their various reasons for doing them. So like I think one of the clearest, and this is once again, this is not coming at you, but like one of the clearest ways of showing that like we really don't know what's going on with someone and whatever their chosen vice is by generalizing why they have that vice. You know what I mean? But I think society likes to do that about drugs because then it makes it to where like we can just write off, oh, that person just isn't addressing what they need to address. That's where they're an addict. And then there's no responsibility with society, which a lot of time, you know what I mean? Like it's we don't like complicated. We don't like the idea of like, oh, there are so many different reasons why people get addicted to drugs. It's easier to just be like, oh, it's because they don't want to do this, boom. But it's not, it's more than that. And that's sadly coming from knowing lots of people. Not as many these days, but you know, living back home in Florida, yeah, you know, the pills came through Florida hard, what about 20, 25 years ago? Um, and that led to other drugs. So, you know, from personally knowing so many people who got wrapped up in drugs, sadly, a lot of them didn't make it, you know, overdosed, died from other complications due to drugs. And, you know, just knowing that all of them had pretty much different reasons for doing drugs and continuing to do drugs. Like it's not a one size fits all hat. Like it's I mean, if it was, we wouldn't have so many people addicted to drugs, you know, respectively. But everyone's entitled to their personal opinion. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I have a differing opinion. James, go for it. Makes international international friend sounds amazing. Let me get somebody's this jug of water in me. Agent said, used to be on the executive of the ballroom dance club at my university back in the day. Did a lot of East Coast swing back in the day, but don't dance anymore. I don't know what any of that means, but it's I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds profesh. You can see me dancing in a Germanic polka outfit. I'm sure you have lots of fantasies about me in lots of different outfits, Angela. But I'm not. Or, never, I'm sorry. Or no outfit. But no, Joe, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Angela, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Nah. I don't dance. I don't dance. I don't dance. Alfonso, Abundance is in the room. How you doing? Oh, hold on. No, we're not watching it. And Nathan, I'm talking about abusive drugs as well too. Like I'm like, there's a lot of different reasons why people abuse drugs. You know, yeah, some of the people just do it for fun and get hooked. Yeah, but even the people who like, there's a lot of stuff like, you know, it's just easy to say like, oh, they won't put in the work necessary to fix an issue. That's why they do drugs. But say that was the case, everybody's work necessary is different. You know what I mean? Like some people come from backgrounds to where there was all kinds of from a very young age, all kinds of crazy stuff happening to them. Unspeakable stuff, like literally stuff that if you was to say it out loud, people would ugh, right? If a person in that situation turns to drugs to like deal with it, you might be right. They have not done the work they need to do to address that issue. But can you imagine how much work that would take for a person? So even that, like sometimes when something is true, is like, bro, like that person probably needs like a decade of therapy. Can you blame them? If the one thing that like, you know, even though it's not right, and I'm not trying to, you know, condone it or anything like that, but like if you see a person, you know, is high all the time, but you know the backstory, sometimes you got to give them a little grace, bro. Like I got friends like that. Like literally, I know we found out through the years like what their situation was, and it's like now it makes sense that they never want to be in their right mind. They never want to be sober. They got demons that we don't have, and those demons were not self-inflicted. You know what I mean? So like that's why a lot of times I'm quick to not defend at all, but I get, I give people a little grace, bro. Like people be out there struggling. I just can't. If things are done to a person and then they respond with a negative coping mechanism, it's still not their fault, 100%, because like the original scumbag is to blame like 90%. You know what I mean? This person is just trying to make it through life, and hopefully, eventually, they find a positive way to make it, but they're not there yet. You know what I mean? And I feel like we got to give them a little grace, give them help, motivation. Don't enable them, but I can give you a little grace when the hand you was thrown, was dealt was five bad cards. Donate C2 and Lero's. How much? No. Oh, how father? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Lunch money. Hey, life's good. Life's good. Can't complain. Can't complain. Nick would don't. Oh man, I don't even know what Leader Hosen is. Ty still saying it. I'm remain single forever. Yeah, Kent, man, you gotta enjoy life, man. You gotta have a few laughs. You know, what was that quote? What was that quote the other day? I saw it in a movie. Was it in the Woman King, which I thought was the worst movie title ever? What is it? Dang it, where'd I put it? Hold on. I have all these titles and stuff on my phone. Dang it, what was it? It was something like there's a lot to cry about in life, but like it's better to laugh, something like that. Oh, we get 100 likes and plus that. Thank y'all. Thank you. Nick, yeah, it is cool having the car again. It's kind of one of those things of like when I don't have a car, there's positives to not having it. When I have one, there's positives to having it. But then there's also the negatives like car insurance and the car note and every time you hear a noise, you're like, what's that? And like, an alarm goes off. He's like, is that my car? I don't even know if my car has an alarm. I'm assuming. But yeah, but I am enjoying being able to get around more than I used to. So yeah. Nene, facts, and that's real. That's real. Said you used to give your friend advice about depression. Choose to be happy, push through it. Then you dealt with it. You want to hear that advice anymore? And that is life right there. And I appreciate you sharing that because that's real. Like that is life right there. It's like until we know, we don't know. And so once again, we come up hearing people always talking about that generic advice. Like society has this idea that there's always some generic advice for no matter what somebody's going through. And I think the more you go through in life, the more you realize sometimes there ain't nothing to say. Honestly, for most of like the real stuff people are going through, there's nothing to say. Unless you personally went through it, then you can say, oh, hey, this is how I handled it. Even that is more motivational. In life, really, like, unless it's something like, say something like travel, you might could give advice. Someone's like, hey, I'm trying to do this. Oh, well, you booked the flight this, you do the. If it's something like real like that, some actual actions to be taken that will. But as far as like a lot of the emotional and mental and all that stuff, there's not advice. You know what I mean? We can give motivation. We can be there for the person. We can listen to them. We can encourage them. But most of that stuff is stuff we got to work through ourselves. And especially if we never been through it. But like until you've been through, you don't know. So a lot of times we're just like, oh, we heard everybody else be like, push on through willpower. So we say the same thing. And then, yeah, sometimes you go through and you're like, oh, that is the worst advice I've ever heard. That don't even mean nothing. You know what I mean? When you're depressed, like I've been there, you've been there. You're depressed and someone say push through. You're like, bro, I barely have the energy to get out of bed. This is me pushing through. Me being at work right now is me pushing through. Like, what are you talking about? Like I should push harder and it'll go away. Choose to be. You think I'm not choosing to try to be happy? I'm just depressed right now, bro. Like, but until you know, you don't know. And so that's one thing and I'm sure I fail from time to time. But that is, you'll hear me a lot of times be like, I don't really got nothing on that because I'm trying to stay away from that of talking about stuff and not, I'm trying to stay away from advising. This is all just motivation. This is all encouragement. This is all just jokes, you know. Because yeah, until now the stuff I've been through, I can say I've been through it. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, yeah. You know, Nini. Yeah, the man for your boy in polka. I did not know. I'm sure polka is me. You know, I can pull off polka. I don't. I can pull polka off. Pulling off polka and pulling polka off. Two different things. Okay. Larry says University of Michigan go blue. Okay. Fact, yeah. And if it was easy to quit, yeah, they wouldn't have treatment centers that people go to and pay tens of thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? I said, push this. Oh, dog, I agree. You know, part of the reason I like to talk about positivity and abundance and prosperity and all that, and I think we're gonna get back into a lot of that, um, is because yeah, if you just go along with society, you're probably naturally gonna have a negative attitude, and the more negative your attitude, the more negativity you're gonna attract to you. And so a lot of people just naturally negative, and then that attracts more negativity, and then they're even more negative. And before you know it, your whole world view is negative. And so you are bringing some of this stuff upon you, even though the original culprit isn't you, it's the programming that was put into you. Because I think left to our own devices, we all would be positive people. But like, you grow up in a society where most people lean negative, you're going to lean negative. And the more you lean negative, the more, you know what I mean? Like if this is the middle and this is positive, this is negative, the more you lean negative and the more negativity that starts to weigh you down, the more you're going to go, like that's why I'm trying to be positive, as positive as possible, you know? There's polka bands in Montana. I don't think I've ever talked about polka this much in my entire life. I've probably said polka more times tonight than I've said in my entire life. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really know what polka is. I don't. You know what I mean? It's one of those things like you know what it is, but like, do you really know? Do you really know polka? Like, do you polka, bro? Like for real? Like for real? Okay. Unraveling Brie. Yeah, I try to. That is one thing. I'll be honest. Being on the internet and having to learn, and I'm still working on this. But I feel like you first get on the internet, you talking, and you think you know stuff, and then over time, people correct you, and you start to learn, and you start to see like, oh, there's a lot more going on out here. I really don't know nothing. you you go on this internet thinking you know something, and then slowly over time, people start to let you know like there's different situations. You know what I mean? Like it ain't blue and green out here. You know. So yeah, I've had to learn that. So that's why I try to acknowledge that because I've been taught that. I have heard of pad split. Yes, Jay Squiggle. Yeah, there was something I looked into it. I think they wanted me to do a background check or something. Um, Something about it. I didn't look further into it. Um, but yeah, I've heard of pad split. Yes. Welcome to the welcome to the white side. Too much polka talk. I'm losing my black card. Too much fun. I got to reel it in. Let's talk about Drake. Well, they say he white too. Let's let's okay, we gotta darken this chat up. I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, yeah, I know it's a dance now. Okay, polka's there. Polka is cultural and music related. That sounds good. So I'll agree with that. I don't really know if that's true, but I'll agree with that. Sounds true. Sergey, glad you like the talks. Still about Thank you, Lunch Buddy. Thank you. Thank you. I'm nervous. I'm living in Montana. I'm talking about polka. Yeah, I might get to the cookout. They be like, nah, bro. Drinking kombucha on a regular basis. They like, nah, bro. Nah, you owned a Subaru a few years back. They like, nah, bro, you can't even come to the cookout no more. Sorry. We'll hand you out a plate. You can still get a plate. That's your birthright. But you can't come in here. You know. Recite a Biggie verse. Ooh, do I even know a Biggie verse? Biggie, 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 can't you see? That's not a verse. That's the chorus. I was never a real Biggie fan. You know what? And I'll say this, and the old school hip hop heads are going to be so mad at me. I'm kind of glad that time has passed because the kids now, Biggie and Pac aren't on their greatest of all times list. And the hypocrisy of people in my generation who never really even listened to Big and Pac, putting them on their greatest of all times list, annoyed me for decades. So I'm glad that's kind of over. I'll say it. I'll admit it. Angela's a Subaru. Well, I mean, that tracks. I'll mess with Angela tonight. It's the coffee. Um, yeah, I'm just glad that the kids now they don't even, so I don't have to hear it. I mean, they were. I'm not dissing them at all. I'm just saying, to me, if they hadn't died young, I don't think so many people would say they were the greatest ever. Doko, thank you. Glad you're enjoying the videos. Lawrence Welk dedicated his show to polka music. That doesn't give me a clearer understanding of what polka. That's like me saying Smack White is the godfather of battle rap. Like if you don't really know a lot about battle rap, that doesn't explain to you anything about battle rap. You see what I'm saying? Like now, if you know a little bit about battle rap, you're like, "Smrrr," you know what I mean? You get it. But like, I've heard of Lawrence Welk, but I suppose I could Google him. You know, I probably know more about polka music than Lawrence Welk. Is what I'm trying to say. Glad to hear that, Mark. Thank you. My favorite Tupac song? That's just the way it is. Probably. Biggie and I don't know if I have like I really like I knew the Biggie songs that were on the radio. Um Now here's the thing. Nobody wants to talk about this. Was Biggie at the Diddy parties? They was really close. That's all I'm gonna ask. I'm not gonna say nothing else on that. We're just watch a documentary on poker. I think I'm good. I know very little about poker, but I think I know enough. Zoo, how you doing? How you doing? I think I'm not as curious as you might think about. I'm not as curious as you might think about poker. GTI, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know when. I don't know the timeline of when the baby oil delivery started. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just ask questions. Lunch money. Watch battle rap every day and tuned in. Nice, nice. I was. I'm not as tuned in now as I used to be. I'll be honest. Once the app came out, you know, the URL app, I got less tuned in. Um, and it's just there aren't as many battles I want to see anymore. But if there's a good battle on YouTube, I'll watch it. There's still some. I'll pretty much if A Ward's battling somebody of any note, I'll usually watch. Um, J2's my guy. I like J2. Um, who else is some like if Tay Rock's battling somebody, I didn't used to could stand Tay Rock, but like I'll usually check it out, see. Um, there's a couple other battlers that like if they Jazz if she's battling, I'll usually if there's any YouTube drops of people I like and they're battling somebody that I know, I'll usually somebody like Clone. I really like Clone. I'll still tap in, but yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same. I mean, but Surf's home, so hopefully the game changes a little. Now, I was listening to a couple days after he came home, or maybe a week or two. Surf was in spaces going off, and it's good to have Surf back. So maybe he'll shake the game up, and we can get a couple good cards or something. But it just there was a time I was heavy into battle rap. Like now, I mean, I still tap in, but like not as much as I used to be. Which do I think he's something J&J style? I don't know. I don't know. Dude just had a little kombucha. Let's go. I saw the Diz and Sharon battle. It didn't have a lot of views on it, so I didn't watch it. I was like, is anybody checking for that? Yeah, I mean that's what always happens, Nasty. Like they'll be here's my thing. There's always like the certain next job to go into, right? Because everything's in cycles and like it cycles around and they'll be like, oh, this is the field to go into. Here's the thing though. By the time everybody is saying this is the field to go into, it's too late. So when everybody was saying go into tech, it was already too late. The time to go into tech was when it was time to go into tech and nobody was talking about it. Now you could go into tech when people were saying go into tech and probably do all right, but the people who really in the beginning of that go into tech, bubble. The people from from the first quarter of the people who got in could kill it. The bottom 3/4, the time to do anything is when it's the time to do it, but nobody's talking about it yet. It's the same with like different investments. And when everybody's like, oh, get into this, it's going up, it's too late. The people who got in before everybody was talking about it are going to do best. So like I'm always like, yeah, what's the next area to go into that like no up for work or jobs that nobody's talking about? Because when everybody starts talking about it, it's probably too late. Because there's going to be a flood of people in it. Whereas before, you could probably just get into it being average. When everybody's going into it, now you got to be at the top of the pack. I ain't trying to do that. I'm just trying to, get in somewhere and make good money. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe nursing. I don't know. Surf wants 220K to battle. I mean, he's worth it. He's worth it. The paper, how much the pay-per-view on Surf's next battle is going to sell 100. Like if he battles anyone of note, say if it was Surf versus Mook, the pay-per-view's at $100 a pop. You know how many people are going to buy that? You know? Yeah, yeah. I think he can get 200,000. Yeah, I think so. What I listen to nowadays, I listen to a lot of like I don't want to say underground female rappers, but I listen to a lot of like not as well known. Somebody like I listen to a lot of like Erica Banks. I mean, she's had some hits and people know her, but she's not like, major star. Like I listen to a lot of people like that level. Yeah. I've been listening to like groups like Wet Leg as well too. I haven't been listening to a ton of music lately. Wilkins, what up, what up, what up? Visiting Pennsylvania? Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I think they are going crazy with this learn to trade thing now. Whereas like 10 years ago, when the trades were really struggling, that was the time to get into the trades. You know what I mean? And I think they're saying that now because there's so many tech layoffs. So people are like, well, you should just do the like. I'll tell you, whatever everybody's saying, do the opposite. Like it's the crowd is the crowd is never right. Like if you live your life based on now, that's not true. Sometimes the crowd is right. But if you live your life based on the crowd, the average person is wrong, you'll probably do very well in life. You'll do a lot better than if you think the average person is right, is what I'm saying to you. Yeah. Little Spencer, there's a lot of people out there that can drink and be completely fine. How do you know when you cross that line? When you start drinking and doing stuff that you're not comfortable having done. Oh, you'll know. From my experience, you'll know when you start waking up on Saturday morning and be like, dang, I wish I hadn't done that. And it becomes a consistent habit. My thing is this, like if you're worried about it, don't drink. If you're like, hey, I think I might be crossing that line, well then, cut back or stop. And if you have a hard time doing that, then you really know there might be a problem. Because there's a lot of people like if people genuinely don't have a problem with drinking and they go out and they get a little crazy a couple nights and they're like, I'm not doing that no more. And they're just like done. They just don't drink. Um, and it doesn't bother them at all. And then there's people like myself who go out and have a couple crazy nights and I'm like, I'm done. I'm not drinking. And I was right back drinking. That's when I knew it was a problem. Like, oh, I keep saying I'm gonna stop this thing and I can't. So obviously there is a problem. But like you'll know when you cross that line. Yeah, yeah, you'll know. Or you'll have a sneaking suspicion you've crossed it, you know? Yeah, doctor, what up? Yeah, I think AI is gonna be doing a lot of the coding in the future. Army, no, I haven't heard of that. No, or that person. A lot of bootlegging battle rap events lately. I mean, that's been happening. I feel like they've been doing that for forever. Yeah. Does it seem dark in here? Did it get darker? I don't listen to a lot of ambient music. Keep nah, not really, not really. I don't do favorites, nasty, so I don't have a favorite band. Oh, keep you since the celibacy video. Yeah, man, I had to private that. I think I private. Did I private that video? I think I did. I know they demonetized it. I'm like, you can't talk about celibacy. That's what they demonetized, which seems odd. But you learn how platforms think. If I was on here going sex, 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 they'd slap ads all over it. But now when I was like, I'm celibate, they took the ads away. Okay. REM is a vibe. I do like REM though. I do. Duncan, I don't really remember my dreams. So, I'm sure I dream. I just don't remember them. So occasionally I might remember a dream a few minutes after I wake up. But even that I'll forget. So like I like even right now I have like a vague memory that I had a dream the other night that I sort of remembered when I woke up, and I don't remember what it like. Literally, my brain is very selective about certain things, and it just doesn't keep a lot of conscious memory space, a lot of conscious hard drive space for dreams. I don't know why. I've always like I just don't remember my dreams unless I just have like a very traumatic dream or something. I might remember it for years, but just regular dreams, I don't. Yeah, I just wake up, you know. Yeah, Bobby, I listen to rock. Mhm. Agent doing a little music production with the DAW, digital audio workstation. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you, Angela. You know, I listen to kind of whatever I'm feeling at the time. You know, I'll hop on YouTube Music, plug. I'll hop on YouTube Music, and you know, it kind of knows my taste, so I just kind of pick a song from whatever genre I'm feeling, and then it, you know, just keeps it going. Keep feeling vibrant. Nice, nice, nice. And like I said in that video, and I've said many times after that, that year of celibacy I did was life changing for me. And the fact that there was a big shift where previously, I'll be honest, I had a lot of female friends, and it was always in the back of my mind, like, okay, when am I the ones I wasn't doing anything with? It was in the back of my mind, like, when am I going to? You know what I mean? Even if it wasn't that type of party, you know, I was trying to be like, well, you know, after that year and like that being taken off the table allowed me to get to a place where like I no longer viewed it as like, oh, this is a female friend of mine and a potential sexual partner. When, you know, because I was like, hey, for this year, I'm not doing that. So I just took that off the table, and it opened it up for like, these would just be my friends. And like, fortunately, even after the year of celibacy was up, it stayed that way. And so, you know, that's why when some people are like, oh, men and women can't just be friends, I'm like, I can, because like I have female friends where like that's not even on the table. So like I don't even think about that. Like I don't even she's just my friend. I just love her as my friend. And it allowed me to just have deeper relationships with my female friends because I wasn't like always in the background, like worrying about what I was gonna say or what I was gonna do because I was trying to get her in them you know what I mean? Like all that was gone. It was just like, oh, we could just be friends. Like pure friendship. And that is something that I would never trade or change for like a couple sexual experiences. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm so happy I did that year because it retweaked, you know, something in my brain, which was pretty amazing, you know? And I honestly feel like some of the really good female friends I have in my life now, I would not have in my life still if I hadn't had that tweak, you know. Backpacking or camping? I really don't do either. Do I think the seasonal work job market is getting oversaturated? I don't. I'm not really sure because I don't watch a lot of seasonal work content. So if it is being talked about more, I think more people will do it. However, I don't know. Like I really can't say, but I seasonal work always has a high turnover, and seasonal jobs, from my experience, have always been looking for good people. So I think if you get into that line of work and you're a good worker, I don't think you'll have to worry about keeping your job. Because I think a lot of the people who are going to come through, if they're coming from TikTok or other influencers' videos, they're not going to do it for long, and they half of them will suck. So if we're being so like I've always said, like if you're good at something, you know, I don't think you have to worry about securing your position. So yeah, I don't think it'll be oversaturated to the point that like good seasonal workers will have to worry. That would be my answer. Cheat Wellness, good to see you. I like that. I like that. Khaled, what up? I appreciate you coming by and say hi. Appreciate you come by and say hi. Um, Drop a little gratitude. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, agent. When you stop being thirsty, and some of that is age too. I think. Um, I don't blame dudes in their 20s for being raging balls of hormones. I was too. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be. That's genetic. But yeah, it's part of it too. You get a little older. But then I also know dudes in their 40s who still crazy about it. But I don't know. It is a much simpler life for me. If something happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm good either way. The WNBA season started back. I've always said, if it was like, hey, the Indiana Fever game is on, or we can go in there and bang one out, I'm gonna be like, who are the Fever playing? If they're playing the Aces, let's go. You know what I mean? If they're playing the Mystics, better call Tyrone's. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like that's true. That's true. So yeah, it's there's lots of joys in life, and if you to experience one of them, cool. But if you don't, there's other joys. You know what I mean? So like, um, yeah. Hey, 2 weeks away, Army Marine. Let's go. Let's go. 2 weeks away. That time will fly by. Legend, what up? Let's see. Didn't I tell you, Army Marine? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you the offers come flying in, bro? I told you. The offers just start flying in. Like you get that one, and then you get all these other ones. I'm not gonna lie. There's been times I emailed the other one like I can't make it, and took another one. I'm not gonna lie. I've done that. Better offer came in. I'm not proud of that. I'm not saying I think it's right, but like yeah, the offers just start coming out. You're like, bro, where were you 2 weeks ago? Why you didn't hit me back a month ago? I told you. Magic Mike, good vibes. What up? Fernando, how you doing? Hey, no problem, no problem. I appreciate you tuning into the streams. My biggest tip on saving on groceries, I'm gonna be honest with you. You'll notice I don't talk a lot about like saving money on things or like being frugal anymore. Cause like I'll be honest, like I talked about like the buy nothing rebellion because like I don't buy a lot of stuff, but when I do buy stuff, I'm not gonna say I'm going the cheapest. So like when I buy groceries, I just buy groceries. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't do coupons or like I just go to the grocery store buy what I want. I just don't buy a lot of other stuff. My biggest expenses are like groceries and food. But like I don't try to find ways to save on groceries and food. If I want it, I just go buy it. But I can do that because I don't spend a lot of money on, like I have no furniture in my living room. I'm gonna take a picture of it and show y'all, especially since I'm moving now. I wouldn't be embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed anyway, but I just got a card table in this gaming chair in a fold up chair. That's it. Whereas most people in this apartment would have spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on furniture. You know what I mean? So like I just don't buy a lot of stuff, but the stuff I do buy, I just kind of spend whatever it costs. You grew your beard out, Zoo, and shoot away strange women? Okay, all right. Whatever you got to do. Nunchuck man G. Yeah, just quit drinking till you quit. Shop at Whole Foods. I don't know if that's the way to save on groceries, but I mean, you'll get organic food supposedly. Can you believe they put a man on the Yeah, Whole Foods pretty pricey, but I don't know. I just never was a Whole Foods I got a job at Whole Foods once. I didn't go. Um, wait, no. I had an interview at Whole Foods. I didn't go. Yeah, and I think it was one of those kind of like coming for the interview, you can start tomorrow type deals. I think it was pretty much a go. Um, but I didn't go. Chris, I'm still in Montana. Yeah, yeah. I'm about to be about this apartment next month, but I'm still in Montana. Your sister used to work at Whole Foods. There'd be celebrities dropping rent money on groceries. I can believe it. Yeah, just I don't know. There's been times when I'm like in Denver, there's a Whole Foods right by Union Station. Um, and so like I'd be down there a lot. So I'd go in Whole Foods a lot. But like that was kind of just because like I could jump in there, grab some stuff, hop on the train or the light rail, go to wherever my Airbnb or my hotel was. So it was just kind of a Whole Foods out of convenience. But I never really like Winco is my grocery store. If there's a Winco, I'm going. Um, but I never really got into Whole Foods. Yeah, that's a pretty cool song. Can you? I like REM. I do like REM. Hmm. That's weird that y'all say you grow the beard out, and I know a lot of women who love beards, so that's interesting that you say you grow the beard out. It shoos the women away. Interesting. Does REM still make music? They still touring? They got some new songs. They got a new album dropping. They dropping a mixtape. Are do rock? Why don't rock groups drop mixtapes? Why is that only like a hip hop thing? Why don't country singers drop mixtapes? You got to ask yourself these things. You don't have to, but ask yourself these things. Only hip hop does mixtapes. There's got to be a reason. Chat GPT, Claude. I'm telling you, you got to ask yourself. You got to question this stuff. Real life with Sonya. How you doing? Good to see you. I'm telling you, you start to expand your mind. You start, you know what I mean? Like you start to question little stuff like that, and it starts to take you down rabbit holes, and you start to see how the world works. You know what I mean? So much stuff we just take for granted, or at surface face value, or whatever. And then one day you just be like, wait a second. I give you one I thought about today, and this is gonna piss some people off. This was gonna piss some people off. But I thought about this today. I was cutting my hair, and I thought about this. And I think about this because, like, y'all know me, I don't have the pet gene. I watch a lot of people reacting to movies, and it could be a movie, for example, John Wick. 300 people get headshotted in that movie. Everybody loves it. Oh, yeah, woo, kill him. One dog gets shot, and people cry. I don't even want to watch this movie anymore. They killed the dog. And I notice, I'm like, man, people have, especially women, have this affection for pets that I just don't understand. Then I thought about it. The same people who love pets and like animals and go out of their way for like fair treatment of animals, and some of them won't even eat animals. Same people have cats and dogs that they trap inside a house 23 hours of the day, and they take it outside one time a day after work to poop. They bring it back in. So they're so concerned about animals and them being treated fairly, yet they have an animal imprisoned in their home who would much rather be outside running around like the good Lord intended. But they keep them locked in their house 24/7 or in their backyard or chained up somewhere. These same animal lovers, save the whales, have like a dog in their house that they won't let out. Sits at the window all day looking outside, barking at birds. But they're an animal lover. I don't know. These things just pop in my head. Maybe there's an answer. I don't. I'm sure I do things that are hypocritical like that. I'm sure I do. Someone will point it out. But these are just the things that we take for granted. But sometimes you got to ask yourself, doesn't that seem a little weird? Do we? I don't know. This is what you get here from me. This is what you get from me. We're going to ask the uncomfortable questions. We're going to talk about some topics that everybody don't want to really talk about. Because truth is going to, trust me, one of the hardest things about like trying to be, a truth sayer is when there's truths that like hit home. And I have to ask myself some questions where I go, ooh, ha, huh, huh. I'm telling you, like I said, someone will mention, people hit me in the comments all the time. What about you and this, Tim? I'm like, ooh, oh, you're right. Ah, sorry. Got me. But that's chat quiet. Nobody will talk about it. People don't want to see. People won't talk about that one. Nobody. Whole chat dead. People say polka. 100 comments. Polka. Brr. People don't know about polka. Brr. You start talking about people entrapping and enslaving pets. They don't want to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about 3 comments. Yes, this is what we do. It's a skill. It's okay. Moving on. I don't want to poke the bear too much. If you're looking for a book to read, Dynamic Laws of Prosperity, Catherine Ponder. I'm trying to get back into. This winter was rough for me, and I kind of got away from this type of reading material. I think I'm going to pick up another copy of the Happy Pocket Full of Money. I was listening to the audiobook last night. That's another reason I haven't been listening to as much music lately. I'm trying to get back into like, designing my life, building my life, seeing what the next phase of my life is going to be. And I need all this type of, spiritual encouragement. So we're trying to get back into that. So yeah. So, Jeanette, I don't really read fiction. Like I'll my fiction comes through like, videos or movies or like reading fiction. I used to read nothing but fiction. These days, like if I'm reading a book, I don't know why. Like I want it to be nonfiction. I want to get something out of it. Reading a fiction book to me, I don't know, just seems like a waste of time. Even though I do watch movies and other stuff like that. Yeah, to read a fiction book, I don't know. I just can't think of a book I would pick up and read that was fiction these days. Whereas, yeah, I used to. But yeah, these days, yeah, if I'm reading, it's going to be. Oh, here's one. This book taught me a lot. Tax-free wealth, tax breaks, how the rich do it. It's just sometimes you just got to pick up a book like this and just learn something. That's what I'm trying to get back into, just learning stuff. But yeah, fiction. I just like when I'm reading, I want to be learning something. Oh, nasty! You can't even like watch movies and stuff. Oh man. You know what's crazy? I found that I can, and part of it is like all the sugar and the caffeine. I know I got to start working on that, but I can tell that, and this I'm sure in no way compares to the ADHD you're going through. Um, but I can tell the more at peace I am, the easier it is for me to like sit down and read a book. Um, and I'm not at the level of peace that I used to be at, where it was routine for me to just chill out, pick up a book, just be at peace. Even like I have to make myself read now. And I'll still be wanting to like pick my phone up or do something. So I definitely got to work on the sugar, this caffeine. Um, I was giving myself a lot of grace this winter because it was a rough time for me. But you know that spring/summer is rolling around, we got to make some changes. So I'm excited for that. But it's gonna be rough. I'm not gonna hold you. It's gonna be rough. Like, but I got to start getting back out in nature, drinking more water. Um, more hikes, things of that nature. Get out the house. Jonathan will listen to audiobooks. Nice, nice. Sandra said, I'll send you a poker book. That sounds like fiction. Shouldn't just learn, but take action. I did a short a while back that was like, they say knowledge is power, but only if you act on it. You know what I mean? It's like you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't do anything, that's not power. So yeah, like you have to take action too, you know. Visit Jamaica? Maybe one day. Like I said, for some reason, maybe because I grew up in Florida, very close to beaches, I really don't have any desire to go to like the Caribbean. I don't know. And it's nothing against it. I don't have a reason not to go. It's just I don't know. Not very high up on my list. But yeah, I'm trying to get back at peace to where I can just grab a book and just like sit. I went to the library the other day and just sat and read. I started reading You're a Badass with Money by Jen Sincera. I could go back and read it again. I read maybe a third of it. So I want to try to make that a thing. Just like not go on Amazon and buy a book, because I do a lot of that. I'm trying to more just like go to the library, pick a book, start reading it, come back, finish reading it, do that again, So that's what I'm going to try to start doing, is just going to the library, days off after work, just read for an hour or two, just to do it, not have a book already set. There's a book I want to, with the 8 Pillars of Prosperity by James Allen. I do want to see if I can find that and read that. But, I just want to walk the aisles and find a book whatever book catches my eye, nonfiction, and just sit and read it. Like that's what I want to start doing. Without a purpose, some say, oh, I want to read this book so I can learn. No, I just want to start reading. I want to start learning. I'm gonna doom scroll the library. I'm just gonna walk the aisles and read titles, and instead of being on my phone and reading titles on videos and clicking, I'm just gonna walk the aisles of the libraries, read titles, pull a book, sit down and read it. So that's because I'm sure, like I'm a big believer in setting goals and having intention. And I'm excited to see, I'm sure if that's what I start doing, the universe will make sure that the right books catch my eye to learn me some things that will help me achieve my goals. So I'm excited for that process. You know how cool that'll be? Just be like randomly pick a book out, start reading it, and then like it has something in it that either directly I'm like, oh, I can use that, or it puts me in a train of thought that couple hours later, as I'm laying in bed about to go to sleep, makes me think about this, and I'm like, oh, that, you know what I mean? Like I'm excited to just see how it all works because it's all connected. So yeah, I'm excited. Oh yeah, it won't let you buy a membership because I didn't put memberships live. Like I have it all set up, but I think I turned it on and turned it off. I do that all the time. Every time I set memberships up, I don't keep it live. There's just something about it that like I don't like. I don't know why. There's something about it I don't like. I always say I'm gonna do it, then I don't. So it might, yeah, it probably won't let you buy one. It may show some member stuff, but I didn't turn it on. Or I turned it on and turned it off. I think it's just something about it. I just don't like it. I don't know why. And there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like that idea of something popping up and saying members only. Like even though in my brain I like it, in my soul I don't. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Nothing wrong with that. But my soul is always like, no. Like we made it this far without memberships. Yeah, low key, I don't want nothing to sell. I think that's it. I don't want nothing to sell on the channel. If I write a book, I'll sell that. Other than that, I'm just like, I don't want to. But I appreciate you saying you'd buy one. I appreciate that. And other people said it too. But I don't know. There's just something in my soul that doesn't like it. I don't know. I'm weird like that. And if there's something my soul don't like it, I'm like, I can't do it. Like it's not worth it. The bother is not worth it. You know? Yeah, Jeanette, I've been slacking. I haven't even been drinking 1 gallon a day, you know? Watch, are you resigning from your job? I can see that. I can see that people saying you don't leave the work, you leave your boss and your managers, or coworkers. Like, it ain't always the people above us. Sometimes it's the people beside us on the flow chart, or the people below us who, sometimes we're the boss and we have to leave our team. So yeah. But yeah, if the workplace is toxic, props to you for leaving. There's a lot of people in that situation who can't leave, feel they can't leave, or just scared to leave. So whenever I see someone take that leap and just like, nah, I'm out. Props. I've been to yes, Nasty. I've been to Texas. Couple years ago, um, T Snacks, Travel Snacks, Allison, she's a fellow YouTuber. She was living in Texas, and I went down to Texas for a month. I went to Duncanville, Texas. That's not where she was at, but it was close. Um, I think it was like 30 minutes outside of Dallas or something like that. But 40 minutes, 45, I don't know, something. It was close. I went down there for a month because she was, in the area, and I wanted to hang out with her. But sadly, she got sick. So we got to hang out a couple times, but not as much as I liked. But yeah, I was in Texas for like, I was supposed to stay a month. I think I ended up staying like 3 weeks, and then maybe a day. And then I left. But yeah, I was in Duncanville, Texas. Nothing to do there, but it was cool. That I did get to see Allison, and it was cool to be in Texas. And I've been to Austin. Um, Went to Austin for a week. Where did I go? I feel like I went somewhere else too. No, maybe it was just Austin, and then I went to Duncanville. But yeah, Austin's a vibe. I would definitely go back to Austin. I'll probably go back to Austin. Well, I got to go see. The softball team I watch the most is the Texas Longhorns. So one day I got to go to Austin and catch a game. Audition for Jeopardy. Yeah. Chris, I used to read history books almost exclusively. When I was younger, it was baseball books, like historical baseball books about like the early years of baseball, Ty Cobb, Walter Johnson, Christy Mathewson, and then, the 30s and 40s, like Babe Ruth, Lou Garrett, all them, the Gas House Gang, all, like they don't, Dizzy Dean, Daffy Dean, they don't, it was that. And then I read a lot of books about Native Americans. Like that was the two things. It was baseball books, Native Americans. That's pretty much, like, as a kid, all I was into. I need to get back into that, actually. But yeah, that's that. But I've always loved history. So, that was the one book in school that, like, I actually deigned to read. All the other books I didn't care. Like, I just read what I had to pass. But like the history book, I would actually like read. I've always loved history. I mean, that's how you learn about life, is history. Adventures. What up, Chantel? In Arizona, just saw the Grand Canyon. Yes, nice. Getting sober. Congratulations, day 9. Nice. Library's your happy place. Awesome. The whole comment is amazing. Thank you for sharing. I like that comment. Just a lot of good energy there. Grand Canyon, sobriety, library talk. Let's go. Yeah, library is cool. I will say that the one, and this is a byproduct of our society. I'm not blaming people. But any library of any size I've been to lately has had to have security, just because of the rise of homeless people coming in there. And I don't blame them. It's a warm place. It's a bathroom. I get it. Or it's a cool place in the summer. But it's one of those things you can see both sides of this of it. Of like, I understand why they come in here, and I'm glad they have a place to come in out of the elements. But also, sometimes I'll be nervous. You know what I mean? It's also like, I do low key miss the library when it was just people in here who like to read books. You know what I mean? So that is one thing that I'm like, man, like interesting. That there's a slight swivel now and then. I look up from the page. Okay, all right, but I'm sure that'll work itself out. See you later, Wilkins. Oh, you got a room to yourself, Marcus, over there on the South Rim? Let's go. Let's go. You know a guy, Army Marine, who kept a logbook of all the books he read since he was 18? Wow, that'd be interesting to see. I wonder if I had done that. That'd be cool. Belgium in the building. What up, Ryan? 5 in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning. Where you gonna be? Outside on the corner. I'm with you, AJ. Yeah, as a kid, I would just read. Yeah. Austin's a vibe, man. Yeah. You're welcome, watcher. Nasty. I think that 20 years from now, people will say that this time period had a vibe too. Like, to us living in it, it might feel bland and boring, but the kids growing up now, when they're in their 30s, will say they miss 30s and 40s, will say they miss this time period. Oh, remember back in the 2020s? Life was this, life was that. That always happens. Like, I think you don't realize the uniqueness of a time period until it's past. During the 80s, we weren't like, oh man, the 80s has such an amazing vibe. We were like, oh man, no. We were complaining about the same stuff we complain about now. Some of it different. The technologies are different, but it's always the same game. So give it 20 years, there will be a aesthetic, there will be a vibe to the 2020s that we can't see now because we're in it. But yeah, the kids who are growing up now, they will be nostalgic for these simpler times 20 years from now. It's the way it always is. It's the way it always is. Have not been to Europe yet, Ryan. It's on the list. We're going soon. Mm-hmm. Only the cool thing is, like, it doesn't matter. Yes, at 46, I think 28 is young, but I think 46 is relatively young. You know what I mean? Like, the cool thing is, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about your age, because you don't even have to think about your age. It only matters what you think about it, and you don't even have to think about it. It's just this arbitrary thing we've decided to track. Like, think about this. Who decided that the year is the measurement that we worry about? Nobody worries about how many months old they are. You know what I mean? We don't measure in month interval. We don't measure in 6-month intervals. We could live in a different planet where a year was 950 days. Then how old would you be? You know what I mean? Like, it's just an arbitrary thing. We decided 365 days is a year, and we're going to track how many years we are, and then we worry about, like, are we getting old because of these years? None of it means anything. That's why I don't listen when people say, oh, when you get older, this happens, this happens, this happens. No, just because it might have happened to some people and you think it's going to happen to you, doesn't mean it's going to happen to me. I'm trying to live to be 90. I love saying that because so many people try to disagree with me. And it's going to be hilarious when I do live to be 90. Or not. It'll be funny if I don't. Crashed out at 57. Checked out at 57. Nowhere near 90, Tim. But I just, we have this idea of, like, oh, I'm getting old now. No one knows what your life is going to look like from 28 on. So, like, what does it matter how old you are? Are you enjoying your life? People start to make decisions based on the fact that they're getting older. Oh, I'm 30 now. I better act like an adult. What if you wasn't acting like what society deems an adult before because you don't want to? You don't need to now. Oh, I'm at a certain age. I need to start doing this. People tell me all the time, oh, Tim, you're getting to a certain age. You better start settling down. You better start putting down roots. Why? Like, if I want to, which you'll notice here lately, I have been staying in places a little longer just because I kind of want to. But it's not like I have to because I'm 46 now. I'm like, no. Like, if I wanted to, I would be I'd be in Southeast Asia right now, traveling full time. Like, I don't want to, because whenever I go, I'll be ready to come home. But, like, none of my point to that is, like, it's not age. I could be doing like anything at 46. I don't have to be like, oh man, I'm almost 50, so I better start settling down and I better start doing that. No, you do whatever you want at whatever age, as long as you can physically do it. So like age really doesn't matter, you know? At 28, your time hasn't even started. If here's the thing, if you view it as your time is over and you live your life that way, then yes, your time is over. But if you're like, no, bro, I'm gonna live to be 80, I got 50 more years. I haven't even started doing the stuff I'm gonna do. Then your time's not over. So many people write themselves out at a young age because other people who don't even know them and will never meet them told them 30's old. They like, who tells you 30's old? Other people in their 20s. You know who tells you 30 is old? Other people who ain't never been 30. You sitting around listening to 24-year-olds call you old. Respectfully, they may know a lot. They may be some very intelligent people. They don't know this life stuff. They ain't been there. 60-year-olds look at me like this dude doesn't know nothing. And compared to them, I don't own this life stuff because I ain't been this, I don't have as experiences as them. We sit around letting people younger than us tell us we're old, and we start making life decisions based on that. Oh, it's over. My time is up. I better just start, settling in. This is why people have like midlife crises, or they have moments later in life where they just lose it because at an earlier age, someone convinced them that their life was over and they started making moves and decisions based on that. And then they look up one day and their life is nowhere where they want it to be. And now they're really at an age where they're like, oh man, it might, it's even closer to being over. And they look back and they're like, dang, I wish back then when I was 27, 28, 29, I wish I had just like lived more. Instead, I thought it was over. So I just settled into like this mediocre existence. And now I'm 51 and like, what have I been doing for 20? You know what I mean? Don't let people who not even as old as you tell you what's old. Ask people older than you. Is 28 old? They're gonna be like, no. What should I be doing right now? Well, careful who you ask that one. Ask people. This is my opinion, my advice. Ask people who are living lives that seem like they're cool lives to you. Not the lives that society says are good lives, but like people who you look at and be like, man, that's gotta be a cool life. Ask them. At 28, what would you tell me about life? And I don't know anybody who is really enjoying their life who is going to tell you to do anything other than do things that make you happy. I don't know anybody who is truly happy who is going to tell you to do anything other than find your happiness. You know what I mean? Like design a life, go after a life. Anybody who's truly happy and really doing like different stuff and like going on their, living life on their own terms and enjoying it. I don't know any of them who's not going to be like, live life on your own terms and like get some joy out of this thing. Because they realize that like there's really nothing else to do. What else is there? If you're not happy, like if we're in a stage in our life where like we're having to grind it out and we're having to work and like we're in a rebuilding phase, or maybe there was some unexpected bills that came up, or we got some responsibilities and we have to just kind of be in this like work survivalist mode. Cool. We're handling our business. We're doing what we got to do. But as soon as we're able to get up out of that, we can get up out of that. Let's get up out of that. This idea of like we have to stay in this same mode of just like work, buy, repeat, die, and like no. It is possible to like live this thing. It is possible to like design and create and look up in the future. We're living a life that like we feel so grateful to have. Wake up one days and just be like, man, like the stuff I said I was going to do, I'm actually doing it. Like I'm enjoying this. This is amazing. One of the reasons like I keep this channel going is because, like, man, I've had moments like that, and I'm like, bro, I just want everybody to have a moment like that. Like, sis, I just want everybody to understand and see, and it doesn't have to be major stuff. Just like being in an area you like being in, and being around people you like, and doing the things you like to do. These don't have to be major life changing things, but just like realizing, like, hey, I had the intention that, like, I wanted to live here. I wanted to be doing this. I wanted to visit this place. I wanted to be around this type of people. And that's what I'm doing. It's not a life of like, oh, I had to do this and I had to do that. Most people's life is like, had to. I have to do this. I had to do that. I got to. No, it's like, I wanted to. I want us all to have a I want to life. As much as possible, I'm doing the stuff I want to do. Not like I have to do that. And even if we have some have to, even if it's 50-50, even if it's 50%, I got to do this stuff. The other 50% needs to be, I want to do this stuff. Because I promise you, 50% I want to more than makes up for 50% I have to. It's a weird thing about like human existence. A very small portion of joy can outweigh so much just like mediocrity. 1 hour of just like, woo, can outweigh like 8 hours of like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't have to be. I think sometimes like I think we're trained by society to think in extremes. So it's either like I extreme over here, just just the 9 to 5 grind, do what everybody else does, suffer, life, or I'm a movie star or a rapper or a millionaire CEO. But like there's that middle ground of like I'm just a regular person with a regular life, but like I have an awesome partner and like we're raising our kids in a cool community and we love our life. You know what I mean? There's that middle ground. There's the middle ground of just like being a more average person and just being able to like pay all our bills and live where we want to live and have jobs we like and we take the trips we like and it's just cool. I don't know how I got on that from asking if 28 is old, but okay. I want a little tangent. We're gonna get back to it. Caden, how you doing? How you doing? I love how I'll be way up here, then I'll just stop and go back to the. Caden, oh, you worked at Zion, Big Ben, nice. Working on a book. Oh, you cited me in the book. Yes, yeah. Oh, I love that. Where's my check? Okay, no, I'm joking. That is awesome, Caden. When you finish the book, I'd love to see where I can get a copy. That's awesome. What up, Kevin? You got fired. You got fired. It was ugly firing. It's all good. We don't need the details. But hey, you're staying positive. That's what matters. Victor, what up? It's been a minute. Since we streamed, but I'm doing good. Mordecai Three Finger Brown. That sounds familiar. Wasn't he a pitcher? Was he a pitcher? What up, Nick? We see you. My routine and diet. Oh, damn! You don't want to know. You don't want to know my diet. Today I had steak, pizza, and I got wings. I'm really honestly like I'm underweight. I feel like, but you should see how hard I work at work. Yeah. But I have a hyper metabolism, so I it takes work for me to gain weight. I'm one of those people everybody hates. Is like I can eat anything and I don't gain weight. I literally have to like quadruple the amount of calories I eat in a day if I want to gain weight, and that's too much work. Hey Ryan, I'm trying to hit every European country. Like honestly, like I got to get to England, because Sweden. I promised a friend of mine 20 years ago I'd come, so I got to get to Sweden. But I want to hit them all actually, and that's kind of my thing. Like I'd love to have a summer to just like do like 3 months in Europe. I don't know. We can make that happen. So your grandmother lives to be 98. Another one lives to be 106. Yeah, nice. See, I can do 90. I can hit 90. Yeah, siege. That's another one. Oh, you're too old to dress like that. What does that even mean? Like this stuff doesn't make sense. Some people say it doesn't make sense. It's just like it's just fabric sewn together, put on my body. There's an age limit on it. I'm pay these people no attention. I like that zoo. Meet people where they are in life, not their age. Nice. Thank you, Olin. Thank you. Nasty at 32. And here's the thing, like some people are settle down type of people. Like some people from a very young age couldn't wait to meet someone, settle down, have kids. And that's great. If that makes them I know some very happily married, husbands, wives, parents. And they didn't do that because they thought they were getting older. I got to do it before 35. They did it because that's what they wanted to do. If you're the type of person who wants to settle down, settle down. But if you're the type of person who doesn't, please don't do it because you're reaching a certain milestone age that other people tell you to. Like I'll tell you, it's other people. Other people, you listen to other people try to tell you what to do with your life. Why? No. Yes, delicate red rose. I would quit a job for pretty much any reason if I felt like it was enough for me to quit. If I had my emergency fund and I had the means to make it, there's no. Here's the thing. If I and I'm better now because I used to just like walk out of places. I'm not that person anymore. My thing is this: it doesn't matter what it is. If I give them my 2-week notice, I'm good. I have no problem because it's business. It's business. If I'm at a job and I no longer want to be there, I'm going to give them notice these days. But it's business. Like I don't owe them nothing. So if I want to leave, I'm gonna leave. Like now if I'm going to put somebody in a gym or something like that, I try not to do that. You know what I mean? But like, there's no reason. Like, if I want to quit, I'll quit because it's business. And a good company will try to, like, if they can, a good company, good manager, a good leader will try to address my concern. But if they can't, then they'll understand. Like, if I'm in a position of leadership, somebody comes and says, "Hey, this is the company policy on this. I can't abide by that." And like my hands are tied, I can't do nothing for it. I might be sad to lose that person, but I'm gonna respect it. I get it, man. That's the cool, you know what I mean? So like if you trying to get if that's important to you as time off and they not letting you have your time off, well, I'm taking my vacation, so it's just going to be a lot longer than I thought it was going to be because I'm about you. You know what I mean? Like we don't like as much as corporations like we're a family. No, we owe them just like they owe us a paycheck, nothing more. Paycheck benefits, and they stop right there. Hey, we give you the paycheck, we give you these basic benefits. That's our end of it. Our end of it as the employee is to show up and do our job. If you decide you no longer want to show up and do your job, then they no longer have to pay you. There's no ties, there's no bonds other than like maybe the human connections there. You have no connection to that company. It's not even real. So yeah, if you don't want to work there anymore, cool. Like I just, I've learned to try to be a little more better with the notice, things like that. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I just, I don't want to leave any negative energy these days. Because you do put people in a jam when you just walk out the door. So these days, if I'm going to leave a job, I try to give them lots of notice just because I don't want any negative energy there. I want it to be, I told you I was leaving. I continue, and I'm going to do my job as well as I can up until the last minute. So they can't say anything negative about me. Rico, what up? Good to see you. Do you think that maybe you repeat yourself but phrase differently? All the time, Brett. All the time. I'll let you in a little secret. I do that, and I'm going to continue to do that because I only say like a few things. The message is pretty basic. The secret is to put the same message out there, but phrase it differently and make it entertaining enough that you can continue to say the same thing over and over again, and it continues to like work for people. That's the secret. Anybody who talks a lot on the internet, on TV, from the pulpit, pastor says the same thing every Sunday. Love thy neighbor, love God. 10% in the plate. Pastor says the same thing every Sunday. You show up every Sunday. Anybody who does a lot of public speaking, you realize eventually you're saying the same thing over and over again. Literally 4 books in the Bible is the exact same thing. Was it Matthew, Mark, Luke, John? The exact same thing, told differently. Jesus repeats it. You know what I mean? Moses, same thing over and over. Everybody does that. There's only so much to say. There's actually nothing to say if you're being very zen. But there's only so much to say. But we all know that. You know, I love Alan Watts. I've listened to like everything he has on the internet. It's a lot of the same thing. But I love it because I already know it. You know what I mean? Like I tune in because I want to hear it, even though I've already heard it. And even though like even in different lectures, he says the same stuff. That's what I want to hear. That's the game. You can't get around that. You know, they say that about Gary Vee, who I look up to. You've had the same message for 10 years. He's like, of course, because that's my message. What else is there? What new could I talk about? The only time there's something new is when I'm telling like stories about my life or different things I'm doing. But when we're dialed in on this message, it's the same thing. I don't even have to phrase it differently. I could just say the same thing. See, once you realize that, it's levels of understanding. Yeah. Yeah, no. Mm-hmm. Nice try, though. Nice try, though. Cruise. I'm actually in Montana, but it actually snowed today. Not a bad snow, but it snowed today. So. Max, I'll take the blame for that. I'll take some of the blame for that. Nomad doing YouTube. I'll take the blame for that. Joshua, what up? Your credit got destroyed at a job, Nathan. That sucks. I don't think I've ever dated a coworker nasty, but I've had some situationships. I don't think I've ever had legit relationships, but I've had some. We've had some good times. We had some good times with some coworkers. Wow. See, nasty. I gotta correct you. I gotta correct you. And I don't mind doing that because if I already say I really look up to Gary Vee, then I'm gonna have to defend him. Um, and most people don't know his story, but he worked in the liquor store in his dad's liquor store for like decades, like doing the hard manual labor. So when you say he's never picked up a screwdriver, I have to respectfully disagree. Because like he was working his dad's liquor store from like 13 to 33, like decades. You know what I mean? So like that's one of those popular misconceptions is that like he never worked. But if you listen to him, like actually listen to him, he tells you how hard he worked. So I don't know. I genuinely I think Gary Vee is an amazing person. And I at first, yeah, I was the same, like, I don't know about it, but I took the time to listen. And like once I got, and he's not for everybody. I'm not saying you have to like him. Um, I just have to stand up when someone says something that isn't true. Okay, oh, Krista's getting VA benefits. Okay, 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 okay. Doing street photography. Oh, nice, nice. Answer that yard warm weather. Otherwise, okay, okay, nice. Yeah, stocking shelves at a liquor store is not, the liquor's heavy. Bottles of heavy. A lot like it's, just No, I don't think I'd ever go to Mars. Yeah, I have no desire to go in space. Like I don't. I won't get to see as much as the planet as I want to see probably in this lifetime. So we'll save space for another life maybe, or maybe we've already seen it in another life. Like I don't. I'm fascinated by the idea of having done so much more than I remember. Um, Currently. You know what I mean? So maybe we've already been. I mean, time isn't linear, so I could be on Mars now. You know what I mean? But as far as in this human existence I'm currently living, I've got no desire to go in space. No, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I mean, the world is, there's too much to do here in 90 years, Or maybe you can't get to space. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out Earth stuff. Yeah, space never fascinated me. I like sci-fi. I love Star Trek, but space movies. But as far as like actually going into space, I still haven't been to Europe yet. You know what I mean? Let me hit all the continents first. Then we might talk. No, I don't want to do space. I mean, agent, you might be there. Y'all know me. I don't think that which is really us can ever be destroyed. So, I mean, once again, time isn't linear. Um, well, time in itself isn't real, but um, there's nothing that says that we can't experience the future, even if this body doesn't make it to the future. So, because I firmly believe I lived in the past uh, before, the year this Timothy Ward character was born. So, you know, I'm excited to see the future in whatever form we see it in whatever part of the universe we're at. At Hard to talk about that type of stuff without air quoting everything. So, okay, I'm Marine. Yeah, man, I'm trying to get to Europe. Honestly, I want I want a travel companion, buddy, person for Southeast Asia more than Europe. If I could find somebody to travel to Southeast Asia with and just hang out, that would be the vibe, bro. That would be the vibe. That's what I want first. Europe, I don't mind going to London by myself. I mean, it would still be cool to, but like Southeast Asia, I'd love to go there with somebody. That would be cool. You down for that too? Okay, okay. Well, I'm serious about that one. Every time I'm in Bangkok, I'm like, if my boys was with me, I would never leave. It's just because I'm by myself. I'm like, if the homies was here, bro, why would we leave? I was like, if I could find somebody to go to Thailand with, we would be chilling, bro. Like, let's do it. Corey, comes you down? Okay, I'm telling you, we need to get a squad up. We need to get a squad up. Chris said, interesting, just no evidence for past or future lives, though. I mean, Chris, the evidence is within me. So I can't speak to anybody else or scientific evidence. The evidence is within me. So that's all the evidence I need. I just know. um, because of certain things. You know what I mean? Like I just certain things really resonate with me, and I'm like, oh, that's probably because we were there, we experienced. You know, what I mean, just I know. So I'm not one of those people that, for me, my belief trumps science any day. You know, you can run all the tests and do whatever, and but if I believe or don't believe, that is the highest, indicator in the verse to me. Um, Science can only back up, what, like, if I firm there's some things that, like, I don't have an opinion either way, and if science comes along, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But like stuff like this spiritual, this life stuff, I'm content with knowing myself. Just like, there's certain things that, like, I know I'm going to do this. I just know. And my friends will tell you a lot of this stuff that, like, I know I'm gonna do that. I end up doing it. I just know. Like, there's no, and sometimes it blows my mind the way it works out, but it doesn't blow my mind. I do it because I knew I was gonna do it. I said I was gonna do it. I knew I was gonna do it. That type of stuff, this real life stuff. All I need is the internal evidence. Because I think we're all tapped into the same energy. We're all part of universal power, divine power. That's greater than scientific understanding. I don't need evidence when I know. 278. If you're in dread all the time, like, there's no time limit on quitting. If you're in dread after 3 days, you want to quit. The idea that I need to work at a job a certain amount of time before I quit, why? Like, what's going to change? If you stay 6 months, what's going to change? Other than that, your blood pressure is going to be worse, and your health is going to be worse, and your mental health is going to be in the toilet. Like, what? It's not like the company's going to give you. They're going to be mad if you quit at 3 months or 6 months. Like, it's not like they're going to give you a departure bonus because you stayed 3 more months. Like, nothing changes positively if you stay longer. You know, Vars, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Congrats on getting your passport. Oh, you got your passport. Oh. See, agent? And I think we don't always have to have our beliefs ironed out. Sometimes it's just like you said. You're like, I look at certain pictures of the English countryside and it feels like home. There's something there. And, like, we don't have to, like, have well, that's because like, sometimes it's just a knowing of, like, there's something there. Perhaps one day it will be explained. Maybe those memories are blocked because we're living in this current existence. Maybe when this life is over, so you're like, oh yeah, like, maybe there's an explaining. I don't know, but, like, I think sometimes it's just enough to know there's something there to let you. There's just something more than you just get feelings. It's like, oh yeah, something there. Unraveling. I mean, I just ask the uncomfortable questions. I get asked lots of uncomfortable questions, so I just ask some of them back. Brett, I'm talking about something that's a lot deeper than a cartoon. That was actually an awesome show. I actually had an ex-girlfriend who loved that show, who really loved that show. So I'm not knocking the show, but, like, I'm not gonna take my beliefs and, like, base it on a cartoon. You know what I mean? It's not based on a cartoon. It's based on my life and belief and feelings. And if the creator of that cartoon had similar feelings and wrote it in the cartoon, cool. But, like, I'm not talking about Avatar on the Last Airbender, respectfully. Like, we do that too much. I think is, like, we base, like, our life beliefs on, like, movies, something we've seen. I'm like, my life is greater than a script that's, like, but like I said, that was a good show. The original one, not a bad show. Yeah. I did not go see the Michael Jackson movie. Mike was cool. He was one of them ones, but I'm good on movies about Mike. I definitely think there's some things that I think, and this is my opinion. I think I either chose to come here and live this human existence, or I was put here at this time period living this human existence for a reason. And I think if I remembered everything about my existence, it would mess up what I was put here to learn. You know what I mean? So I think that which is actually me knows way more than Timothy Ward now knows. I think a lot of it is blocked off because you couldn't live this human life to the fullest if you fully understood all the secrets of the universe. Actually, I don't even think they're secrets. But if you understood all the inner workings of the universe, it would be very hard to be a human. You would just sit in one spot and never move. You would have no reason to live as a human if you understood all that which is of the universe. So then once again, this is just my opinion, but I think a lot of that is blocked off so we can go through this human existence and get something out of it. You know, that's the way I see it. Yeah, I mean the question of like, who am I? You can sit for hours pondering that. I mean, you could spend your whole life trying to figure that out and never know. All the stuff I'm just saying here, this is just my opinion that helps me sleep at night. I could be wrong about all of it. I don't know. I think you just have to, if you're the type of person like me who likes to think about this stuff, you just kind of have to pick a belief and run with it, if it makes sense to you. But who knows? 5 years from now, I might be like, oh, totally different. I don't know. Like, how will you ever know? As long as this life is going on, I don't think I'll ever know. But yeah, who am I? I mean, spent all week thinking about that one. Yeah, agent, there's so much going on. We can't experience like it. I mean, there's so much more going on than we experience as a human. And even the way we interact with this world is based on so many different things. Like I'm fascinated by the fact that like the language you speak determines how you see the world in some aspects. Because there's some languages who have words for things that other languages don't have. And if you don't have a word for it, it doesn't exist. So there's certain, cultures that there's things that exist to them that technically don't exist to other people because we don't have a word for it. That fascinates me. They can see things we don't because like they're like, oh yeah, that's that. And we're like, no, it's not. We don't even get, there's no concept of it. There's something like you just will not have a concept of certain things simply because there's no word for it. Whereas people, two countries over, they have a word for it. So they get the concept. Makes total sense to them. They try to explain to you, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like it's the same planet. Fascinating. Language is fascinating. I don't know if I would say I believe in reincarnation. I just don't think the energy that is actually me ever goes away. So I think it just goes somewhere else. So maybe you could call that reincarnation. I don't use that word, but I don't know. If you were born deaf, what language are you thinking? Um, I think whatever language you learn. So like if you're born deaf, but like everybody around you speaks Spanish, I think you think in Spanish, right? You still learn a language. Or maybe they think in sign language, you know? I think you just think in whatever language you express yourself in. So if you're deaf, you still have a language. So whatever language they use to communicate, I think that's the language they speak in. I mean, they think in, excuse me. Yeah, Agent, that's one I always think about. They're like, yeah, we just look at like, well, that's snow. And other people, they're just like, yeah, but it's this type of snow. You're like, what are you talking about? It's snow. Mrs. Dante Hawkins. Um, I don't know where I'm at with Christ. Here's the thing. I always say like nature is my church. So I go out in nature and like my views and my relationship with the divine, with God, is strengthened in nature because I start to see how it all fits together. Um, I will admit though, I don't see the presence of Jesus in that. And that's not me saying that he didn't exist or like he's not a big deal. I just struggle with I don't see it in that. I don't see the necessity of a middleman in there. So I grew up in a household that believed in Jesus, but yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Russell Adams, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much. I appreciate the love. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Good to see you. Thank you, Russell Adams, coming through with the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you? Army, yeah, I don't know how you learn Braille if you're blind, but obviously you do. I mean, actually, like we take it for granted that you learn, like we learn to read, but that's just because that's the way we do it. If that wasn't the way we did it, that would seem weird to us. So, like, whatever method you're taught to like read and communicate, it doesn't seem hard because that's how you're taught it. So, if you're blind and like Braille is how you read, that seems normal to you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not weird. Like, that's the way you're taught. Like, we're taught the way we are because that's the way we're taught. But like I said, if somebody did it differently, they would look at us and be like, what are these squiggles on this page? Like, how does that? It's like when you look at a different language and try to read it, you're like, I don't even know what this means. You know what I mean? So you see what I'm saying? It's just whatever method is the method you're first taught seems normal. So it can be anything, bumps on a page, lines on a piece of paper. It could be anything. And if that's how you're taught to communicate, it just seems normal, you know? That one's easy. If you're born mute, you want water, you just point at the water. Like that's an easy one. Oh, man, Miss Hawkins, we keep it real. We keep it real. Bev, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I think it seems harder to us, like if we are, we have our hearing and our sight and can and talk, like anything different seems harder. But like if you're born without one of those senses, it's that's all you know. So like you just learn to communicate with what you have. Like, I mean, humans are one of our amazing abilities is to adapt. So like to us, we might look at that like, how do you do that? But like if that's how you learned it, you don't have a choice. You know what I mean? You don't have a choice but to try to communicate with people best you can. If that's all you got, well then like it's probably not that hard. Like it's just like how do kids learn to talk? They just pick it up. So I feel like, if there's a different method you have to learn to read or communicate, you just kind of, you know what I mean? Like you get it. Like, you know, been going through a lot, Bev. Oh, sorry to hear that, but glad to hear you're okay. Glad to hear you're okay. But sorry to hear you're going through a lot. But the beauty of life is the seasons. And so, hey, on that back end of that winter, going through a lot, you get spring, you get summer. You know what I mean? So you do for you know what I mean? Nice spring, nice summer. But sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Do you really believe that's air you're breathing right now? You know what's crazy, Agent? I don't know if we're one of the apex species on the planet. How would you? What if every species thinks they're the apex species, and we all define it differently? We might define apex because we feel like we're the most powerful. Um, but other species might define it like the birds are like we're the only ones that fly, and obviously flight is better, so we're the apex species because can't nobody come up here and get us. Every now and then a plane's propellers or engine gets us, but 99.9% of the time nobody comes up here and gets us. They can shoot at us with their little gun things, but nobody flies. Birds can be like nothing, the aquatic species, they can't swim 100% of the time like we do. They have to get out, go back on land. Obviously, we're the apex species. I mean, they'd probably look at us and be like, humans are the only species that actively destroy the planet. Obviously, they are the worst. How can you be the apex species when you're destroying the planet? The ants think they're the rats and the roaches think they are the best. The roaches think they are apex. Everybody knows you can't kill us. The humans have this thing called nuclear war, and they already know it couldn't kill us. If you are a roach, you think you are running this whole planet. It doesn't matter what type of buildings these humans come up with, we're in it. The rats, we're in it. The roaches, they already know they can't kill us no matter what they do. Everybody else is scared of humans but us roaches. Best thing that happened to roaches was humans, they dropped food. Nobody else drops food. No other species have crumbs. The roaches are like, bro, the best thing that happened to us was humans, but they can't touch us. They say it in their movies, it's in their books. If we have a nuclear war, whatever that means, the roaches will still be here. We run this show. This is our planet. Ain't got roaches on other planets. This is the roach planet. Sorry, I don't know. I'm telling you, these are the type of things that come in my head. I'm a contrarian, so I can't give just, you know what I mean? When people say stuff, I think about like, wait a second, what if that's not true? What if this is the roach planet? Died and came back as a human on the roach planet. I don't know. Gotta think about these things. That's a good one too, Armor. Yeah, like our definitions of alive are ours, but like, yeah, what determines if something is our viewpoint of what determines if something is alive is just our viewpoint. Like our viewpoint of when like if you take a tree and cut it down, we say it's dead now. But does that mean like the wood's still there? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just, yeah, these things, yeah. Getting deep. What up, Lakers Paradise? Lakers Paradise said if you had to choose between two jobs, one pays 20 an hour and is fully remote, the other's 24 remote but a 6 month contract, what would you choose? I would need a lot more information. Yeah, like I mean, yeah, what type of job? I just need a lot more information. There is just the money, and like I don't. I try not to choose jobs based solely on like the money, so I need a lot more information. Yeah, I would. I would not surprise me if there's something much bigger than us out there. Like, why wouldn't there be? You know, that is true too, Angela. Yeah, if we didn't have the, but you can argue, yeah, we wouldn't be as dominant without the weapons. But with being a human comes the capability to create weapons that other animals don't have. So you kind of can't take us. You can't take that away from us. You can't separate us from the weapons because part of being a human is the brain, the mental capacity to create weapons. That's part of the package. That would be like taking, you know, the claws away from a lion. You know what I mean? Oh, that lion wouldn't be the king of the jungle, didn't have them claws, or that mouse. You know what I mean? So like I think that it's all the same package. Though that is a good point. Katarina and Ty both going to remain single. Okay, okay. The job's on data analyst for healthcare companies. I mean, it, like I said, Lakers. I mean, there's. I would have to know the backstory of both jobs to make a determination. It's hard to just be like, oh, this like, what job do you want to take? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, both of them about close. I mean, the fact that a job is only a 6 month contract wouldn't be a negative for me. That'd actually probably be a positive. So yeah, if it's remote, is more money, and it's 6 months. If they're both close to doing the same thing, I probably would go with that one just because I don't mind. I might just take the 6 month one, and when that was done, I just see if I can go do the other one. Take both, you know. You know, take both. Doesn't have to be or. No, what is it? What does Gary say? Yeah, Gary Vee's always like and instead of or. You know, take the 24-hour one and the $20 one. Universe is abundant. Prosperity everywhere you turn. Good book, life changing. GMAC, fashionably 3 hours late, fashionably. Um, yeah, I heard about people who were taking two remote jobs. I'm not saying at the same time, though. If you can make that work, you can make that work. But like I was saying, like do the 6 month contract and then go do the other one. You know. Yeah, it's crazy how for so many years in the past we thought the robots were coming for certain jobs. Like we thought about robots. We didn't think about like AI. We thought the robots were going to come first. We didn't think about like software. You know that when the machines came, they were going to come in full force software wise and not robot wise. Don't think most of us saw that coming, myself included. Though now it seems obvious, but yeah. So there were just so many jobs. Oh, the robots will take that over, and we're still humans doing it. but the ones we didn't think about, they came for. Though I think a lot of those jobs will come back. I think this AI bubble is going to burst one day, and like we will still use AI for a lot of things, but I think a lot of these companies who are, in some cases, will go back to having a human do certain things that they're having AI do now. I think not in every case. A lot of cases, maybe not, but I think in some cases they'll hire humans back. Yeah, if it was actual robots, we maybe. I don't even if it was actual robots, I don't know if we could fight against it. Um, I don't know. I think it will always it will work itself out. Going back to humans being adaptable, we will figure it out. I don't share the belief that like there won't be any jobs for humans in the future, and we'll all just be able to lay around and do nothing and get paid. I don't agree with that. Just like when the internet came, it took some jobs away. I think AI is it's just going to change. It's going to change work, but I don't think work for humans is going to go away. But I could be wrong, you know. We'll see. Hey, GMAC reduced everything down to about a closet's worth. Nice, nice, nice. Glad you're loving it. How's it going, Lion? I can't save you. I mean, maybe that's the move. You know, sorry to hear that you're dealing with a toxic job. Um, why not wrap it up and go somewhere else? You know, there's a reason you're really thinking about it. I'll say this: if you keep really thinking about it, maybe it's the right move. Like don't Lakers, don't get me started. Don't get me, please, please. I've yet to have a conversation about UBI where someone was defending it that made me believe in it. And I would love for someone to be able to convince me. I would love nothing more than for UBI to work. But I can't find anybody who can convince me that it will work. And it makes no sense to me. So I keep waiting for someone to explain it to me in a manner where I'm like, that could work, but I can't figure out where the money's going to come from and how they would do it in a manner that didn't make inflation go through the roof. And no one's been able to explain that to me. If just giving everybody money worked, why haven't they done it before? All throughout human history, this amazing idea of just giving everybody money, nobody thought to do it. When were the first coins introduced? You know, the Sumerians, the Egyptians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Greeks. Nobody thought to do it. Nobody, Dark Ages, Middle Ages. Nobody thought to do it. Industrial Revolution. Nobody thought to do it. I don't think it's because the rich are too greedy to agree with it. Nah. I think if you're the one handing out the UBI checks, you have greater control. I think the powerful would love it because then they would have control over everybody. Because if you didn't follow their orders, you just wouldn't get your check that month. I think there's nothing they would love better. The real greedy, rich, power hungry people would love nothing better than UBI. Because if you stepped out of line, you just wouldn't get a check. So I don't think that's it. It won't work. Like you can't just give people money. It won't work. That's why no one's done it. It won't work. Star Trek always talks about they don't have money, but then you turn around and talk about money in every episode. You ever notice that? Not every episode, but like this one, I love Star Trek, but that was one of the issues I have is like, oh, we don't use money anymore. And then they always talk about money. I'm like, I thought there was no money. Oh, that's a different species uses money. Like you have to explain how the people on the Enterprise get paid if there's no money. When they go down to another planet that uses money, if they don't get paid because there's no money, how do they buy anything? Yes, but there's a difference between, I'm not saying they don't have the money. There's a difference between spending money, like taking taxpayer dollars or getting loans to finance wars, and giving everybody money. There's a difference. Printing money and giving it to everybody there's a difference in there than taking like taxpayer money and financing wars. And like I always say, if we're talking about regularly how greedy landlords and everybody else is now. What do you think is going to happen when like they know everybody's getting 10 grand a month or whatever? You know what I mean? Like it's just they have to print all this money to give all 300 million Americans spending money, living money every month. And they have to keep doing it. Like it would never stop. That's the problem too. Once you start UBI, how do you stop it? So it's different from like, oh, we spent 10 billion on this war over here and it ended. That's totally different than like, oh, we spend 10 billion every month. You know what I mean? And perpetually. It's I don't know. I just like I said, I've had this conversation quite a few times. And like I said, no one's ever been able to be like, no, this is how it would work. I think it's one of those, it calms people down. When people look like, I don't know what's happening with the world financial situation, AI is coming, they're going to take all the jobs, and you start losing it. You're like, oh, UBI. And people are like, okay, yeah, we can do UBI. You're right. There's a solution. We like to have a solution. If you give people a way out and just say, hey, this will work. Okay. A lot of presidents get elected because of that. Seen this a lot lately. The financial landscape, the political landscape looks crazy. People will just pick up a candidate and be like, that's my solution. And no matter what happens with that candidate, good, bad, ugly, uglier, they'll rock with that candidate because that's their solution. And if they were to ever say, this candidate can't fix this, they couldn't sleep nights. So you just back your horse, you hitch your wagon to, a certain horse and it stays hitched because like you can't bear the thought of having an unhitched wagon. There has to be a solution. People have to have a like, oh, this person's going to solve everything. Oh, and I get it. I wouldn't do it because I like to be a realist. But that's that. You see this in relationships. People will be with somebody that they know they shouldn't be with, but it beats loneliness. So they hang with that person no matter what. And they don't allow themselves to see the red flags and all the other stuff. Everybody and their mama knows she cheating, but he don't see it because like he can't bear the thought of not being with that person because they need to be alone again. You know what I mean? Like we have to find like these, solutions. I just think UBI is one of those. Yeah, but like people say, oh, you still have to work and it would be extra money. That doesn't change anything. That almost makes it worse. If people are still working, getting their regular paycheck, and then you give everybody $3,000 a month on top of that, prices are inflation's definitely going to go because everybody knows that everybody has a spare $3,000. Prices are going to go up to reflect that. What do you think landlords are going to do then? Oh, not only are you making 3 times the rent because we said you had to, but now you got an extra 3 grand. Oh, your rent's going up $500. Everything's going to go up if everybody gets extra money on top of the money they already have. I mean, just simple supply and demand. Everybody's got more money. The prices of goods and services is going to go up because people will be willing to pay more because they got more money that they didn't have to work for. Prices will go crazy. That'd be even worse, I think. Victor, I don't think anybody has a big understanding on UBI because like it's never been done. They've done case studies, and I'm not saying I'm an expert at all, but they've done case studies where they gave a few people an extra $1,000 a month, and magically they did better. We went to Cleveland and we gave 10 families an extra $1,000 a month. UBI worked, and they did so much better. UBI works. Nobody's done it on a major scale because you can't. This is my opinion. I could be wrong. Bev, I dream, but I don't remember my dreams. Exactly, exactly, Jonathan. Like people, it's a robot tax. Oh, I like that idea. That's interesting. Exactly. The market responds to what people can pay. So if people got more money, the prices are going to go up. Just, I didn't even take an economics class. Maybe I did, slept through it. But so not only are we going deeper and deeper and deeper in debt, printing all this money, but like prices are going to go up because people have more money. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that. Yeah, and Jonathan, we see what happened. The inflation we've been experiencing in recent years is a byproduct of all that money they gave away back then. I was saying back then, I was like, I'm taking the checks. Thank you. But we're going to pay for it down the line. This seems like free money now, but we are going to pay for this down the line. And now we're paying for it. And people are like, what is all this? Where did this inflation come from? I'm like, we told you back then it was coming. We said it was coming. It's here. And people act like they don't know where it came from. I don't know. How did this bro, it's never a good idea when they start handing out free checks, bro. Unless it's just like a one time, everybody gets $200. Okay, cool, something like that. But when they start handing out lots of money, there's gonna be, you got to pay the piper. You got to pay the piper, and she wants cash. You know what I mean? People still get locked up for PPP fraud. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. They people was going crazy with that PPP fraud. Yeah, Mrs. Hawkins, I think there is a lot more. I think the rent crisis is something they could work on, especially even like local governments, you know. And each city or each state could get together and resolve that if they really wanted to. And I'm sure there are some areas that are working on it. You know, that's something you can pass legislature on a local level, I would imagine, and just be like, or they could make it mandatory to build affordable housing. If you're going to put up, a luxury condo place, X amount of it has to be affordable. Or forever, if you're going to put up luxury over here, then there needs to be in a proportion, you got to put up some affordable housing somewhere too. Like they could legislate that. I don't know if they will, but like I think that's legislatable. I mean, I could be wrong, but that seems like something they could, because I've seen that. Even where I live, like a lot of the new apartments that go up, they're like a certain portion of them has to be affordable. Now, their definition of affordable isn't quite affordable, but it shows it's possible. If it's a 100-unit apartment building, 20 of them need to be affordable, or 20 of them will be set aside for like a sliding scale. You'll pay based on how much you make, blah, blah, blah. They can do that. And obviously, like the developers can still make money because they keep building these complexes like that. So I think if we had more legislation like that, um, it would go a long way towards helping the average person. Like I said, I was, I'm when my lease is up here, I'm going to an Airbnb. I'm blessed to have gotten this apartment I'm in now, but it's not really what I was looking for. Um, and so I decided to move on. Um, but any apartment I was looking to move into just was substandard, like too expensive. I wasn't doing it. You know, and it's like to lock in a year lease in a no, 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 no. No. And I do think, like to Jonathan's point, certain places in the country are more affordable than others. Um, Part of the reason I try to keep my freedom to move around, I know it's not, a lot of people have a lot of responsibilities, they can't do that. But that is one of the reasons too. Like I like to keep my freedom to move around because, I like to hop on the chat GPTs and ask it, where are the most affordable cities in America that also have, low crime, good schools. Not that I care, but that's usually a good indicator of a good neighborhood, good area. High walkability score, access to nature, near a public, near a major airport. Get a good sense of some places that I might want to live. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I did not realize until a couple minutes ago that we hit 3 hours. So I think I'm going to jump off. I did not plan on going 3 hours tonight, but we got to talking. It got good. It got enjoyable. I needed this energy. It had been a while. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Big shout out to Angela, world's best moderator, the usual suspects, the lurkers, everybody who commented, everybody who came through. Big shout out to the Super Chat squad. Thank y'all so much. Really appreciate the support of a financial nature. It really does help. But more importantly, thank y'all for everybody with the questions, the comments, just watching, that energy, that love, the positive vibes. Like I should say more important, because the super chat is important too. So just as important is that energy as well. So thank y'all for that. I hope you got something out of the stream. Hope y'all have a good night. I hope y'all know I love each and every one of y'all. I mean that. We will talk again soon.